Hi, everybody. Welcome. Good evening. Good evening. We're going to start off the show with some feel good music and things like that so we can get this show on the road. I told you guys I want to make sure that these new shows are actually really good and entertaining and things like that. So we are going to be here with vital information, news, and updates, celebrity news, and more today. So we're going to also have a mashup with coaching and things like that, self-discipline, and being able to understand that there are some things that we have to learn how to do on these YouTube streets, on these Twitter, Twitch, Facebook streets, and things like that. And part of this is to have fun with it as well. So you guys, I'll be right with you. I'm going to be back with some news and more, but listen to some good music. All right, everybody. I hope you guys like that. I wanted to make sure that these shows are becoming more and more relaxed and fun and things like that. And starting over this year and making sure that we start these shows off right and making sure that they are good, back better than ever with the power to do more with Talk Radio Diva. Let me make a quick announcement. Valerie Robertson, please make sure you're still hitting her cash app and things like that. Please lift her up in prayer and help to pay for her medical bills and any rehabilitation costs. Again, she just was taken off of life support. I haven't heard anything else about that, but I heard that she's doing okay and things like that. So again, let's make sure we hit her cash app and things like that. Valerie Robertson, please lift her up in prayer and make sure we pay for her rehabilitation costs and whatnot. You're here with Talk Radio Diva, vital information, celebrity news, and updates today. So I figured we were going to do a mashup today so that we can understand what it is to have fun, be educated, and learn some things at the same darn time. Okay. And so I wanted to start the vital information series, news network updates, and more, off on a positive note, to handle several things as far as up to the minute news, and with better format and clear cut, concise branding, and also re-representation this year and presentation this year. However, after hiding in the bushes and taking time off, I figured out our first show would be a humbling and a reckoning so far deep down this YouTube street and rabbit hole. And then on top of that, live from my friendly YouTube HR feed and things like that, and the news and coaching channel, and give it to you all blood raw. So I figured we would have fun with it, right? So I figured we would have some laughs, giggles, and things like that, and also make sure that the show is good and the show must go on no matter what we got going on. It seems like out on these YouTube streets, it seems like bullets are flying. We have a lot of stuff going on. We have a lot of stuff going on. It's like, wow, you have to almost shut the front door. And when you're thinking about all these different things that have happened the whole entire time, it's almost like, watching a whole level of just, let's get ready to rumble. It's been a lot on the streets, and it makes you want to just like I stole this from some of the YouTubers. I was like, it needs to go that way, you know. And I was sitting there looking at it, and I said to myself, I don't want these type of issues and problems. I don't feel like duking it out on these YouTube streets, these Facebook streets, these Twitter, Twitch, Clubhouse streets. I don't feel like going through all of this. All I want to do is enjoy myself, and I want to be able to sit back and enjoy myself. I don't want an angry mob mad at me. So I was thinking about all of this, right? While I got up this morning, and I was like, what do I want to do with my presentation? What do I want to do with vital information? What do I want to do with all my presentations? What do I want to do with the coaching? So I thought about it. I was like, let's have fun with it. Go with the flow and do the best that I can. So when that alarm went off, I I was like, CC, what do you want out of everything? What do you want in all that you're trying to do? So I sat down, I wrote some things down. I sat down, I said to myself, this is not me. The toxicity, a lot of the things that are going on, a lot of things I got sucked into. I said to myself, is this what you want? Is this how you want to present your brand? And then I had to say to myself, I'm not going round for round, pound for pound with everybody on the YouTube streets. Do I want to? Of course. There are days when I just want to throw the gavel and I just want to sit there and march in court. I want to drag everybody up and down these YouTube streets in court because I've had it. And then I thought to myself, why not do a teachable moment on here? Let's talk about all the different things that we need to do. And with the celebrity news and more, we're going to use this teachable moment. So I'm hearing with my ear low to the earth, hiding in the bushes and whatnot from some of these YouTubers who've been reporting on this, and it's up to the minute news about all this. I'm up hearing about how YouTube streets is on fire. When I say the YouTube streets is on fire, it was on fire. We're hearing all these things that happened to Tasha Transfer and Nikiti. And I told you guys that's not one of my favorite people because I've dealt with personal issues because of her antics and buffoonery on YouTube. And I don't like mentioning the girl's name. I don't like mentioning the other person that was on YouTube playing these games. And there's another YouTuber who likes to play petty, nasty games. And if she doesn't get my soundbite off of her stuff, I mean, I will drag her butt by her dusty drawers and I will put her nasty, disgusting, sexual, nasty, hateful words that she said to other YouTubers, and I will put her out in Front Street. So this is your final warning, young lady. You're an older lady, but you're a nasty woman, and I want you to keep my sound bites off your stuff. And if you steal another sound bite that Roxanne gave to you or Snooki gave to you, I will see the breaks off of you. So I want people to understand that I've been dealing with these nasty YouTubers for a very long time, and this other one that's doing this for clout will be dragged by her hairs on the top of her head. And I made it abundantly clear, get my soundbite off of your crap. And I'm going to give you about 30 days less to get it off and edit that soundbite. Or you're going to have to be demanded in court to take it off. And I'll make sure I drag your YouTube channel with me. I've made it abundantly clear about some nasty women who have been sitting on Sean Diddy Way's show who used the word F word. And I've made it abundantly clear who it is that has my soundbite. Get it off of there. So I want to make sure she understood this, and I'm setting the YouTube streets on fire, and I'm setting your butt on fire right now, young lady. I want to make sure this older lady understands that I'm not playing with your narcissistic games, just like Snooki and the rest of the nasty narcissistic waffles like Roxanne, who've been sitting on the trees platform playing these nasty behind games. And it's been confirmed about their IT antics. So I want to make sure I drag each and every last one of them and let them know that I'm like your butts on fire on YouTube. So the other YouTuber who I was going to remain nameless that was on Sean Diddy Way's show, and you used the F word and called him the F word, and that's in the gay, lesbian, homosexual, bisexual community a bad word. I'm going to warn you. You got 30 days to get my soundbite off your crap, young lady, and I'm not going to tell you twice. So hopefully that'll let you know that I'm not playing with you. Okay? Before I have to drag you into court and absolutely put you in your place and let you know to not use my sound bites. And any more of you IT specialists who keep on giving these sound bites, these nasty narcissistic YouTubers, like the one that used the F word towards Sean Diddy Way, and I know exactly who you are, and I'm not going to give you any clout. I don't like you. I don't like how you talk to people, and I don't like how you be condescending and nasty to people. And then on top of that, you're not going to play with me and Snooki and the rest of those nasty, goofy goof troops over there at Tree's little platform who wants to keep playing narcissistic games, and she needs to check on her mental health with her friends and her goofy friends over on YouTube. So let's make it abundantly clear that I'm not going to play with y'all, and I'm not going to knock down, drag out fight with you all. So I wanted to make sure that's clear with each and one of these childish, nasty little YouTubers. And I made it abundantly clear about all about the trees. I don't really have a problem with you, but some of your little friends need to stop playing these narcissistic games like Roxanne and Snooki. The same one that wanted to make sure that they wanted to mention about making false reports on Clubhouse. I dare you. So I've made it abundantly clear that I'm going to set these YouTube streets on fire and let you know that I'm not playing with none of you. I wanted to make sure we got that clear. So that all about the trees and then Snooki and the rest of her goof troop, Roxanne, who's playing these IT antics that you need to stop. King Oz, you need to stop. Chris, you need to stop. So I'm making sure I set him further on fire, just like Tasha transferring to Kiwi. So the other YouTuber who wants to get clout off of this, I'm not going to give you any clout because I don't like you. And you use the word faggot. And I don't like that word. So that YouTuber who used that word, I want you to get my soundbite off your crap. Because I will drag you by your hairs, ma'am. And you got the right YouTuber to play with. I don't care for you. That would be the Sweet Pea Diaries. So have I made it clear about my actual soundbite that you stole? So I expect you to go and make sure you have the license for it, or I will be suing you. I will copyright strike you, and I will drag you by your filthy hairs, ma'am. Just make it clear who I'm talking about now. Seemingly, imitation is the best version of flattery. And then I've got some toxic, nasty little YouTubers who want to get clout off this. And I made it abundantly clear in my meeting with YouTube last year and my YouTube meeting with them the year prior. And Susan and I are quite familiar with each other. And I'm quite familiar with YouTube's back office about these antics. And I made it clear about certain YouTubers who want to keep playing these nasty narcissistic games. So Sweet Pea Diaries, I'm going to invite you one time to take my soundbite off your shit, or I will drag you by your filthy vagina into the YouTube office and let you know that I'm not going to play with you. I don't like you and I don't know you. But the thing is, I heard you around here stealing sound bites, just like Funky Dineva Ross. And then Quentin Latham is the same person, who's a daytime crew of Monica Toomer Allison, all about the tea. And I made it abundantly clear about some of you messy YouTubers who keep this up, that I don't care for you. And I made it abundantly clear that I'm not going to give you any clout. I'm going to embarrass you and humiliate you, just like I did Snooki and Roxanne, all about the trees minions. Crystal Nicole, the same one that sat there and went in Wendy Williams' records. The same Crystal Nicole that wanted to talk about mental health. But she got fired from Philadelphia Hospital as an RN because she went in Wendy Williams' records. On behalf of Tasha transferring to Kiwi. So Sweet Pea Diaries, I invite you to take my soundbite off and don't use it again. Hopefully that'll put you in your place, since you like to clout chase like everybody else on YouTube. So I want this to be a teachable moment to a lot of petty, nasty, disgusting YouTubers. And I dare you to copyright strike or do any content strikes, because I'm addressing to YouTube the problematic YouTubers I want removed. And they better hurry up and leave. Because I want a more better format and clear cut and concise branding representations here. And since some sour, nasty, sourpuss having disgusting, miserable, childish YouTubers who like to use the word faggot, like the Sweet Pea Diaries, I want to make sure I humbled you real good. Because, young lady, that soundbite you stole is the same one that was in my files. And those are the same files that were messed with. And the IT specialist who's doing it is going to be fired, terminated for his job. And the same YouTuber who is Uzziah Ricky Z Allison, who's been told on about his YouTube antics, and his dirty daughter, Gianna Avery Allison, John David Allison, Kenny Petty, the same one that's on that Tupac song about Petty Sour. By the time I tear them up for all these nasty antics and the IT tampering that Jeremy Allison was doing, has been confirmed, I will be suing the brakes off several YouTubers. So don't keep stealing my sound bites and thinking you're going to reuse them. I expect you to provide that license, and you better hurry up and provide it, young lady, or you're going to edit that soundbite out of your YouTube presentation about Joshua Transfer and Kiwi, because I caught it today, and I'm not stupid or low functional. So Quentin Latham will be sued, and so will Karen Civil, because those are Joshua Transfer and Kiwi's minions, and they're the same ones who hacked my stuff. And Jeremy Allison's DEA, Carisha Young's boyfriend, Nikki's homegirl. And I made it abundantly clear that I don't like being played with. So it's a lot of people who've been playing these nasty games, and I've been hiding in the bushes watching you. I've been hiding in the bushes because I'm sick of y'all, and I address this to YouTube. And plus other people who've been watching y'all close and have been watching these situations unfold, have watched each one of you toxic, nasty females that I've named Snooki, All About the Trees, Crystal Nicole, and several others, including Roxanne, who's doing IT tampering and told on herself. She's in Chicago. So the IT tampering provoked and the IT tampering and gaslighting that these nasty toxic YouTubers have been doing and your side ops antics, you've been caught. So I wanted this recommended humbling happen so that you guys understand that I'm trying to rebrand, and I'm not going to put up with toxic old ladies on YouTube. I'm not going to put up with middle-aged old ladies who are married and miserable, who beg for seafood, beg for ice, and beg for things, or call other people begging bees and whatnot, like All About the Trees. And see, I've been very nice to you, and I've let you slide multiple times, just like I let Sweet Pea Diaries slide several times. And since you want to sit around here and do toxic things, Sweet Pea Diaries, and you have my soundbite, I'm going to invite you 30 days to get my crap off your stuff. And I mean it now, or I will content strike you. Because I was told about several YouTubers who were restreaming my YouTube and watching them and cackling and kikiing. And if I catch any of my content restreamed anywhere on YouTube, you will be getting a civil lawsuit, criminal lawsuit, and a liability lawsuit. And Roxanne and her minions, including Trees and their toxic, nasty antics, and Trees used to be friends with Toxic Transfer and Kiwi, and it's been confirmed Uzziah Z Allison was the one who put Trees up to this. By the time I sue the brakes off the Allison and the Grasty families, then All About the Trees can find her something safe to do. And I've been very nice to her. But what I'm not going to do is put up with toxic, nasty females on YouTube and think that I'm not going to drag you for it. Because I've asked you each to stop playing your narcissistic, nasty games. And if you so much as make a false report on YouTube, YouTube is aware of it, and they're already getting ready to take your channel. I've asked them to. So I want you guys to understand this humbling and reckoning is because I'm tired of this. And I've been tired of having to deal with this and several monkey wrenches that need to be dropped and several YouTubers who go from YouTube platform to platform like Cups of Conversation. There was Monica Toomer Allison, All About the Tea, the same one who had D Bishop playing all these nasty narcissistic games. So let's make sure we drop some wrenches here on the floor. So hopefully I have a couple of y'all gagging and coughing now. Hopefully I've set the YouTube streets on fire enough for each one of you to have a final warning to not play with me on the internet. So some of you common, low-class, farting women who are married and disgusting pigs who like to play these nasty, disgusting, despicable games, hopefully you can laugh now, cry later. So all you cackling hens who've been sitting up here on YouTube playing all these narcissistic, nasty behind games, hopefully this will humble all of you, each one of you cackling chicken heads. I wanted to make sure that when I lit the YouTube streets on fire, when I came back from sitting in the bushes watching each one of you creep and creepettes playing all these nasty narcissistic games, that the explosion on YouTube will be huge. So it's just like going to court and having to drag a woman for filth and having to let her know how far they've taken this one too many antics too far. And how many times I've told each one of you cackling nasty hens to stop playing with me because it was going to be like a knockdown, drag out fight. And I told you guys I don't like being played with. So each and every last one of you understand it's like now, let's get ready to rumble. And I warned each and every last one of you to stop playing with me on these internet streets. So since you want to put a banana in the tailpipe and keep playing these nasty behind games, I wanted to swipe the rug out from under each one of you and make sure you understood that I'm not playing with you. I don't like none of you. I don't care for any of you. And I'm going to name you by name because I'm not scared of you. And I dare you to make a false report on YouTube because I've already had a conversation behind the scenes with YouTube about each one of you. And I let them know who I wanted removed because you keep on playing these stupid games. So it is a knockdown, drag out fight. So I want to make sure I shut the front door on y'all and your antics on YouTube. So I want this to be a live update and live teachable moment about humbling moment for all of us to grow on, learn from. I want this to be the first, last, and final warning to YouTubers about presenting facts, fiction, or celebrity gossip and other such ilk, and doubling down on nasty, being a bully, a passive-aggressive provoker, and childish, abusive little things to push the buttons of other fellow YouTubers like me. And little things to push the buttons of fellow YouTubers are anything like for a like, subscriber, share, or YouTube or super chat, or a what we call begging bees and whatnot on the internet who like to play these nasty narcissistic games and doing anything for a like, share, and subscriber or review. And so let's have a combo and coaching at the same time, and bulletproof motivation, self-discipline, and mastery, as well as a little vital information update and more. So I wanted to start it out with the humbling and reckoning because these same girls are the same nasty narcissistic pricks who have their own channels and like to play these nasty games just to hear their name on the YouTube streets or somebody talk about them, and then they play victims. So I wanted to make sure this knockdown, drag out fight and lighting these YouTube streets on fire, it will be a good lighting these YouTube streets on fire. And if I'm going to get in trouble, it's going to be good trouble. And since these cackling hens are like a flock of seagulls that don't know how to act on the internet, I figured these demented cackling cows would learn when I banged the gavel down on them on these YouTube streets. So courts in order, vital information, case 1, case 2, case 3. When I have told multiple women to stop playing with me on the internet or playing ambient coercive control tactics, nasty tactics to get me to say their name on YouTube, I meant I don't like you, and that's why I don't mention you. I meant that I don't want to be friendly with you because y'all play these nasty narcissistic games, and y'all done it to multiple YouTubers, and I've watched you guys do it for 2 to 3 years. All of you have a name. I'm sick and tired of y'all. I'd like for you to be off of YouTube personally. I've already had a meeting with YouTube and on the back office and also the corporate office number. So they gave it to me. And I let them know who the problematic YouTubers were because I'm sick of y'all playing with me on the internet, and y'all done it to me for 2 to 3 years. And then I was told who was doing it. So when I named Roxanne, Snooki, Trees, and several toxic, nasty, narcissistic antics of several old folks who want to hide behind their elderly, I don't care nothing for you. And I've been very nice and tried to promote you, be nice, or, extend an olive branch. But since y'all want to play this toxic game from channel to channel, and then you want to keep on stealing sound bites that Roxanne did, and several others did, like Snooki, who wanted to make false reports on Clubhouse, I figured I would make sure each one of you got named, and I would humble each and every last one of you, and embarrass you all over the YouTube streets, Clubhouse streets, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook streets. Maybe that'll help everybody know what bullies are sitting on the internet. Court's now in session, just like Tasha Trent and Nikki. The same narcissistic girl that had Crystal Nicole, All About the Trees, going in Wendy Williams, Kevin Hunter's baby mama's records in Philadelphia Hospital where that baby was born. So maybe that'll help Trees sit down somewhere. And maybe that'll help her talk about mental health, her own mental health, instead of other people's mental health. Court's now in session, young lady. Snooki, since you like to be a minion and you ain't got nothing better to do, Congressman Snooky Snack Stackhouse, or whatever you want to call her, and Roxanne, the dirty female over there in Chicago, who likes playing IT nasty games and whatnot. And I trace those IT strengths to Chicago. That'll explain all the nasty, narcissistic YouTubers and their toxic side ops, nasty, provoking, and gaslighting. So let me also humble the other lady that likes to call people faggots. That would be the other lady that I just watched today, who had my soundbite. And let's play it a little bit since she likes playing narcissistic games. Here it is. This one I was talking about, Tasha transferring to Keith. The Sweet Pea Diaries. She likes calling Sean Davy Way a faggot on YouTube. This same woman that wanted to make a poor excuse for that. And she likes using people's sound bites and things like that. It was somewhere along in this audio. So I invite the same woman that wanted to play stupid games who had my sound bite to take it off again. Let's see where we find it. Oh goodness, her tearing it up. It's somewhere in this that she had it, and that was the particular one of the applause and whatnot. And I know where I bought it because I bought my sound bites over 10 years ago. So that same particular sound bite has a distinct audio, and I can actually put it on a machine and prove it. So I invite her to take that shit off. And I'm tired of this. I'm tired of telling females to stop playing these narcissistic games. And since I can actually prove it with the IT stuff here, the hidden network, by the time I tear their bus up in court, they'll understand to stop playing these stupid games. So that will be 729 3E5, Alula 04E628. And that'll be Alula May Archie's brother who's in the military, has an MOS, a 31 Romeo, and knows how to do IT tampering. And they've done it. And here's AT&T XTS 88PG. And that will be TS Madison, Mandy Manhor, the same one that was on my Twitter, playing all these nasty games with Gino, her manager, and I Love New York, Tiffany Pollard. And then there's Net Hero 4, which is the Pensacola Police Department, Atlanta PD, and LAPD that do go and cap this a lot. So they're aware of each one of you nasty, narcissistic, tampering, provoking, gaslighting, miserable antics. And they trace the IT strengths to Chicago, Atlanta, New York, and as well as, Los Angeles, Calabasas, California. So the Sweet Tea, that would be Jeremy Allison, and I want a warrant for his arrest. And Uzziah Freaky Zeke Z Allison, who went to the O Network, and the O Network needs to sue him. So I made it abundantly clear how far it's going to go. So the Sweet Pea Diaries, who used my soundbite, and that was the one where it was the applause and you thought it was funny, that's a specific one that has a license, and I have it. And I will drag you by your hairs in court over it. So I invite you 30 days or less to get it off of there. Use something different. But they say imitation is flattery, correct? So when I've told a lot of women to stop playing these nasty narcissistic games, I meant it. When I traced also the IT strengths to Liverpool, and I've also traced it over to different places, then it means that I have a viable court case. And when I've talked to YouTube directly, Susan and the rest of them, and the YouTube agents that were on the phone who said what they're doing is toxic, it's abusive, and it's narcissistic, and it's emotionally abusive, then it means that I'm not going to put up with it. And with me being autistic high functioning, I pay attention to detail. And specific sound bites that I have bought and purchased, just like my backdrop that Storm Monroe stole, and that was Funky Dineva Ross who did that, Monica Toomer Allison's minion, John David Allison Kenneth Petty's minion, and in that Tupac song that says Petty Sour, I have a good viable court case. So by the time I sue the brakes off of Jeremy Allison, DEA Allison's informant, Carisha Young's baby daddy for the IT tampering, it's going to go to civil litigation, criminal litigation. So Sweet Pea Diaries, take my shit off your stuff now. So I want everybody to understand what toxic YouTubers have kept this shit up. Sweet Pea likes to call Sean Davy Way faggots. I don't think that's cute. I don't think it's appropriate. So let me learn you something in HR, Sweet Pea. I don't care for you. I don't care for your broke, busted, disgusted channel. I don't care for Cups of Conversation because you were the one that was the mod for Monica Toomer Allison, All About the Tea. And she's a bully. And the bishop is the one who said he wanted to slay a dragon. So let me help you guys understand. I've got a dragon tattoo. And by the time I sue the brakes off the bishop, princess, the Nitra, and every YouTuber who was playing these toxic, nasty, narcissistic games, you'll be losing your channels for that. So, Sweet Pea, you got 30 days or less to get my soundbite off of your shit. And I've got the specific soundbite and I've got the license. So you can explain to YouTube how you stole it. And the same thing, I'm giving you guys a prime example of Karen Civil. That would be Tasha Transreniki's minion friend. And the same one that was doing all this provoking gaslight and used Isaac Allison. It was confirmed he's the one who sat there and tampered my website, 8 forced e-commerce websites. So those are 8 e-commerce forced websites, which means like something like YouTube, any type of forced website that exchanges money, or anything like Amazon, eBay. Those are forced websites, like Bonanza, all those type of websites that you sell merchandise. So not only will I sue the brakes off of Karen Civil, not only will I sue the brakes off of Tasha Transrenikibi, and not only will I sue the brakes off of Monica Toomer Allison, all about the tea, Sweet Pea Diaries, I'm going to find the audio right now so that everybody understands that you stole the shit. And I've got the exact same sound bite. And you're going to explain how your dumbass got it. So I wanted to pull this audio up because she wanted to go over Tasha Transrenikibi. We're going to do the learning lesson in just a minute. Down at that time. Hold on, you guys, one moment. So this is at the beginning, where she thought it was cute. So let's get into it, because when I tell you guys I don't like being played with and I don't like narcissistic games, I make it. Because when you get into her live, she has the same soundbite and the audio is distinct, and I can run it on an actual machine. It's called a box, and I'll be able to run it and synthesize it. It's the same soundbite she stole. It's the same thing they do when they do court cases on audio beats stealing. So those same softwares I have privy to, and I'm able to prove my case. So I suggest you get that soundbite off. This same soundbite is the same one that I have. That specific soundbite. So I've been using my soundbites as of recent, and imitation is the best of flattery, correct? But I'm not impressed by it, especially when you stole the direct audio. And then when it's being done by the same IT specialist who's going to jail. And I'm going to press charges. Carlos Ellie and Monica Toomer Allison's new boyfriend, not Uzziah Allison, the other one who's doing YouTube provoking gaslight, and the bathroom levels of IT tampering, provoking gaslight, and unlawfully wiring my house. And it's been confirmed by AT&T, Cox Cable, and it's also been confirmed by Dish Network. So I will sue the brakes off of y'all. And I made it abundantly clear, if you steal any more of my content, I will sue the brakes off all of you. So each one of you YouTubers who want to go and do clout chase and think this is going to work out well, that same audio was actually taken offline. It was, because it's with the license package. So you stole that one, and I can synthesize it and prove it in court. So Sweet Pea Diaries, get my shit off of your goddamn platform, or I will content strike you. And I was also told about several YouTubers who've been going around here playing these type of games. So I'm aware of each one of you. So Roxanne is going to be fired from Chicago. And what her job is, I don't know, and I don't care. But you're not going to play these toxic games. And Snooki Stackhouse, and if you want to make false reports on Clubhouse, you're going to get kicked off of Clubhouse, and they're going to find your account, and you're done. And you're also done on YouTube. So all about the trees, your dusty friends have got you in trouble again. I hope that humbles you too. Because I've been nice to you dusty heifers, and I'm tired of y'all. So when I said that I was lighting the YouTube streets on fire, I meant it. And since commonplace, classless, nasty people who live in double-wide trailers, who can only get a YouTube, Facebook, Cash App, Twitter, PayPal in their name, farting, nasty, dusty, married women, miserable, toxic, picnics, and their nasty friends, I made it abundantly clear I don't like being played with. So the farting cow needs to find her something to do. So you cackling hens who've been laughing and enabling her, maybe you can find yourself humbled off of YouTube as well. So all rise, the Honorable CC is in session to give you guys a good help, some level of humbling and reckoning so far deep down this YouTube rabbit hole. now in session. So this is vital information, and I want you guys to understand the teachable moment about all of these narcissistic antics and provoke and gaslight games these disgusting, despicable turds have done on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and they keep on thinking it's funny to do to people. And I'm autistic high functioning, and a lot of these nasty, disgusting IT tampering, provokings, and gaslighting with a wealthy, well-connected, nasty, narcissistic soul who's going to be getting sued for his levels and parts of participation and provoking gaslight, stealing sound bites, unauthorized, going through folders, tampering them, just like Roxanne did. He's going to be fired, terminated, walked out. Mr. and Mrs. West will be fired, terminated, walked out. And then also Jeremy Allison, whose brother used to work for Mr. and Mrs. West. So by the time I get through doing the breaks up of all of them, and Mrs. Thompson, Mr. Thompson, and June's nasty out of order provoking gaslighting antics, and that will be Alana's mother, I made it abundantly clear those in Calabasas, California will be sued, including a couple of other people who thought it was fun to play these IT tampering, provoking gaslight games, and it's been traced to Calabasas, California. So Miss Thompson will be fired too. Does anybody have any questions? And then Mr. Thompson, who's also been involved, that's the black Mr. Thompson, not the white Miss Thompson. Does it make it abundantly clear about all these toxic antics and who's been playing these games? So I wanted to make sure I sounded the alarm. And I wanted to make sure that I come through and make sure that I knock and demolish everybody down who's done all of this, because I told y'all to quit. So let that be the last warning. So this flock of cackling hens. And cackling seagulls can find themselves something safe to do. The show like to do bird brain, nasty, out of order, provoking, gaslighting things. I figured we'd use this as a level of learning, a level of respect. And I've earned enough respect, and I've been on YouTube long enough, and I've watched you guys long enough, and I've been in the bushes watching y'all do it. So you can't sit up there and say you didn't do it. The farting, cackling hen, the disgusting, nasty, dry, out of order, provoking, gaslighting, cackling walruses who like to play all these nasty, disgusting games and want to play YouTube police games. So when I said I was going to set each one of you on fire and embarrass you and humiliate you, I meant it. And I dare you to go tell a lie on YouTube, because I've already addressed it with them multiple times in writing and over a phone call. And I've also got them to write a letter as well about all y'all problematic antics. Let me clear my throat. I'm not going to put up with y'all. I don't like none of you. I don't like being played with. And my background is in HR. And I decided to practice my HR skills while sitting on YouTube and watch all of this stuff because I was told to. Because people were watching me and wondering what was wrong with me. And people made false DCNF reports and made false inquiries like the lady next door. And that's Kenyatta Lindy Archie. And that's a DEA informant aunt. That would be Alula Mae Archie, DEA informant. Shane Archie's sister, Russell Archie, the one that looks like Sierra Wilson's husband. And then on top of that, Shane Archie is Brittany Carpenter, the billionaire's daughter, the same white girl that called me niggers in my house. So I don't go for racial epithets, and I don't go for calling gay people like Sean Davy Way faggots, Sweet Pea Diaries. And since you like sound bites, I figured I would humiliate you as well. And I'm giving you 30 days to get my shit off of there. So there's a lot of YouTubers who've kept this up, and I'm tired of cussing and fussing. I'm tired of looking angry. And those of you who want to call me ratchet, like Sasha Banks did, who came down here, Mercedes Granado, I want her fired from WWE, and I will sue the brakes off of McMahon, the police officer that was at Pensacola Police Department, and allowed the sorry whore to come down here and call me names. So all about the trees, you were talking about that on the SOS Women's channel. I dare you to mention the word ratchet again. The only thing ratchet is your farting on the internet. It's gross and disgusting. And it's childish and immature. Why don't you try getting your credit up and getting a regular house? I forgot you can't qualify for one. So all the cackling hens that like to play all these nasty narcissistic games on YouTube, I'm hoping that each and every last one of you narcissistic nasty souls and you cackling chicken heads that like to keep playing these stupid games, you understand that it's the all-out war on YouTube. And let's get ready to rumble, because I'm ready to rumble the Bronx with each and every last one of you and court over it. So, as I said in self discipline and mastery, as we talked about this the other day in Bulletproof Motivation, we have to get to a place that we learn how to become better than what we are. Train like a Navy SEAL, like we talked about. And when we talked about this, I've learned how to sit there and do what SEALs do. SEALs learn how to sit there and play a fool for a fool. And I'm no sucker. And I decided to stay sucker free and explode these YouTube streets and humble each and every last one of you nasty narcissistic souls. I'm sure a lot of people will be thanking me for all of that. There's a lot of you same toxic, narcissistic YouTubers who like to play these disgusting, despicable games have done it one too many times to one too many people. And a lot of people don't like each one of you. And each one of you cackling hens have played one too many times on the internet. So we're all sick of you. So I wanted to make sure that the angry crowd is not too upset with y'all. But I know I am. And I'm sick and tired of you chicken, turkey neck, nasty, out of order, provoking, cackling hens on the internet. All of y'all are childish and need to grow up. So as I'm walking the dogs on y'all, each one of you, and throwing these punches to each one of you verbally, I'm letting you know that you're not going to keep playing with me, and I'm going to walk all over you each and every time you do it. And I'm going to be like a barking dog all over you every time you do something to me. And it's going to be like, who let the dogs out by the time I get through tearing you up. So shut the front door. I'm going to ring your doorbell every time and wring your neck every time you do it. So it looks like I knocked on each one of your YouTube doors and told you heifers to quit and grow up. And don't keep playing these narcissistic, provoking, gaslight games. You got the right one to play with on the YouTube streets. And I am an HR, and that's my degree major. And I've got a bachelor's degree in it. And we were taught how to do investigations and catch people in their wrongdoing and passive-aggressive narcissistic antics. So before you try me, make sure you don't knock on my doorbell anymore, and don't steal my sound bites, and don't use IT antics and provoking gaslight games, because I'm going to be on your YouTube neck every time. And I'm just like the YouTube boogeyman. So I think I've knocked on each one of your doors and let you know that I will drag you through court over it. So I want these nasty being bullies, passive-aggressive provokers, and these childish YouTubers to understand something that Tasha Transwini went through. She's currently going through a level of reckoning and humbling so deep down this rabbit hole and learning about being a bully on the internet. She's learning about doubling down on stupid, playing narcissistic games, or continue to play toxic games with people, doxing people, terrorizing people on the internet. She did it to Belle Salas Almanzar, Cardi B. That's my other homegirls, Takeoff's people. And I don't dislike Cardi B per se. I don't like being played with. And since each one of you like to play these narcissistic games, Belle Salas Almanzar has a good open and shut case. And let me tell you how. Because court's really in session, because I want you guys to understand it from an HR standpoint. So let's go ahead and make sure court's in session. All right. I want you guys to pull up a seat and write this down. And when I've been dealing with toxic, narcissistic people, including I have a YouTuber who's been on my platform and being disrespectful, crossing the line, and he knows that we're not getting along because I had to put him in his place today. And I made it abundantly clear to him his toxic, narcissistic antics and his mind games are not going to fly. And I made it abundantly clear to him that I'm not going to put up with his crap either. And I put him in his place today and blocked him. Because when I've had to put up with multiple YouTubers like King Oz and several individuals, I'm calling them by name. So the other person, Sam, who thought it was cute to play these narcissistic games, got his butt handed to him today. Just like Toxic Diamond, just like several individuals like Sweet Pea Diaries, just like All About the Trees, Snooki Stackhouse, Roxanne, and all these people who like to play these narcissistic games. But I've already been told who's participating. And I made it abundantly clear I don't like being played with. Just like Cardi B has a platform, I have a platform. I'm no Cardi B, but I do have an industry family. They've watched this post and they know that you did it. And they don't like none of you, and neither do I. Because one thing about it, I don't toot my horn. I don't go around here toxically abusing people. I don't go around here provoking and gaslighting people to talk about me. I don't go around here listening each and every last one of you and play these toxic games to get talked about. And like each one of you cackling hens, I literally have my own content. So Roxanne, while you were around here stealing content, and Funky Dineva Ross did this, and so did T.S. Madison, the same one that was on my Twitter, and they're the same ones who have deals with Lee Daniels that own Network, you can explain that in federal court. Because just like Cardi B, she has good lawyers. And when my toxic fed ex and this nasty rapper wife have played these toxic games and played with people who are wealthy, well-connected, those people are not happy either, and neither am I. So each one of you ratchets who want to play these nasty behind games on YouTube, let there be a warning. You never know who knows who. And you never know who's sitting in these YouTube streets watching you. I don't have to sit in the bushes. They do. So let that be the reason that you guys understand that I'm throwing down the gavel and letting you know that in a court of law like Tasha Transreni-Kiwi is going through, the judge is sick of her crap and sick of her lawyers trying to drag that out with Cardi B. She's already lost her case. Because doubling down on stupid and playing narcissistic, provoking gaslight games are only going to get a lot of you YouTubers channels snatched. Let Tasha Transreni-Kiwi's little situation be an example to each one of you, Snooki, Roxanne, Trees. Let each one of you cackling hens like Sweet Pea Diaries, Cops of Conversation that was on Monica Toomer Allison, All About the Tea, the same one that was bullying and provoking me, behind her nasty son, who's a DEA informant. So each one of you cackling hens ought to know that you are being watched no matter what. And each one of you cackling hens need to grow up. I want each one of you nasty, toxic women to understand that I'm not playing with you. Because I had my poker face on for 2 years and watched each one of you scum buckets play with me on the internet and play IT nasty narcissistic games. And it was confirmed by law enforcement. I was told so. So I'm not just going off the fly and off the cuff. So those poker chips I'm throwing down. And I'm letting you know that I don't like being played with. I'm letting each and every last one of you toxic, nasty women, my poker face, that I'm not putting up with you. I'm not putting up with Sam, my student, and his classless antics. Because I made it abundantly clear that I'm sick of his word salad and toxic narcissistic crap. So either he's going to grow up and be a good student, or he can find himself something safe to do. He's in the UK. Have I made it clear? And I just got a message from Sam, and I'm ignoring it on purpose. All these toxic antics and playing with me on the internet is not going to work out well. And then playing all these nasty games, there's a lot of people who are glad I'm saying it because I'm not the only one who's dragged you all to filth and told you about yourself. And I made it abundantly clear to All About the Trees. You can play these ambient, coercive, nasty, provoking gaslight games because you got put out in Front Street about what you did to Wendy Williams. I hope she sues the brakes off of you. I hope you never get another job in nursing because what you did was crossing the line. And you did on behalf of Tasha Transreni-Kiwi. And it's confirmed that you were DEA Allison's minion doing dirty work on YouTube. So find you something safe to do, lady. You're going to be the only begging bitch on YouTube, not me. The next time you talk about mental health, let's talk about your own. How healthy are you to sit up there and play these narcissistic games and your nasty friends who've been sitting up here on your little comment stream playing the same toxic games? Snooki Stackhouse, Roxanne. It's Trace to Chicago, moron. So it looks like I done exploded all these things and shook the table. Because you cackling hens who think it's funny to play these childish games, understand that you want stupid prizes. And there's enough investigations and the actual DEA is looking at y'all idiots. And so is the FBI. And it's also a RICO case active going on that you morons caused yourself, fool. And I want you cackling hens to laugh about that. So I'm sure several people are absolutely laughing at all of y'all. And I'm sure a lot of people are cheering me on about this because they're sick of you just like I am. Because I'm making sure that these YouTube beefs are coming to a screeching halt. And I warned each one of you that it's going to come back better than ever. But I decided to take this late night level of making sure it's a teachable moment about you guys that like to do celebrity gossip or gossip about celebrities or do all these different things to be nasty bullies, provokers, and gaslighters, or do celebrity news coverage and don't have a bit of insurance, don't have a bit of liability insurance, don't have a bit of TMZ money, don't have a bit of ETV or WeTV news money or any type of money in the levels of media, and don't even have media license to first to play all these type of games. I'm making sure it's a screeching halt. And I'm making sure that I pulled up on these YouTube streets and let you know exactly how far y'all got me messed up and how far you got some celebrity family members messed up and how far you're going to quit it. Because I'm going to pull up every time. And then I'm going to shut the front door and all. And then you cackling hens go sit down somewhere in your hen house and go cluck, cluck, cluck. I want you guys to understand why I'm doing this. Because I'm tired of y'all. And I'm fed up with it. And since y'all like to laugh at other people's suffering and y'all like to provoke and gaslight, I figured I would make sure I walked right on in and made sure that I let you know that I've been sitting here for 2 years watching you too. And I watch you guys do it to me and play passive-aggressive narcissistic games. And I will do the brakes off of each and every last one of you. So I suggest you guys clean up your YouTubes fairly quickly. So I wanted to make sure that when I lined you all up, that you guys would understand that I'm not the YouTube police. But it's going to be a bunch of ratchet, nasty, out of order wrenches sitting from different platform to platform playing toxic narcissistic games being dropped off of YouTube. So maybe that'll help each one of you every time y'all want to play games and sit in the bushes and ring my doorbell and play these narcissistic games. That I'm like a dog on your neck and I won't get off. So I wanted to make sure each one of you toxic, narcissistic women who thought it was funny to play these psyops, nasty, provoking, gaslighting games like King Oz, Sam, and several other people who like to play disgusting, despicable games near and far, I'm making sure I humiliate and absolutely embarrass every last one of you. Because I've made it abundantly clear what I don't like on the YouTube streets. I made it abundantly clear that I'm new to YouTube streets. And in the last 2 years, when I was told to watch each one of you, and I was told that each one of you were running your mouth and playing all these toxic, passive-aggressive games, I made it clear who was all doing it. So, Sweet Pea, get my soundbite off your shit, or I will sue you. Any other YouTubers who've been also, what I've been told, have been running my YouTube streams on YouTube, if I find any of those on YouTube, I will sue you for defamation, libel, and slander, and then I'll be on your neck every step of the way. And I will absolutely make sure the cackling hens get sued right along with you. Who are facilitating a lot of these toxic antics? Being toxic mean girls. So I told you guys I pull up on these YouTube streets all the time, and I make sure I name names. And each one of you toxic snakes will be sitting on a plane deported somewhere where you need to be at in a prison cell. And like I told you guys in the beginning, I had no dog in this fight. But since there's toxic women who want to clout chase and want to get their names mentioned, so Sweet Pea Diaries, take my soundbite off your shit, or I will see the brakes off of you, and I'll have you pulled off of YouTube. Since you like calling people faggots anyway, and you called Sean Davy Way faggots, then I want to put you in your place and get my soundbite off your shit. Because I have a box that I was able to synthesize it. It's the same soundbite. Find you something safe to do. Does it make it abundantly clear? Because I'll pull up to your YouTube and let you know in your chat. Just like I did Nosy Hoes about mentioning my name and Nicole Martinez, who mentioned my Twitter name, shut the fuck up, I'm tweeting. So I want everybody to know that I'm on to everybody. And I'm going to stay on your neck every single time you do it. So does anybody have any questions about these women who need to be booed off of YouTube? Who need to be humiliated off of YouTube? And I'm sure there's a lot of people who would be happy. Because all of us are sick of each and every last one of you toxic passive-aggressive picnics on YouTube. And YouTube's also sick of you. And I was asked to watch. And also asked if I recommend channels or not. And I certainly don't recommend any one of you. Although I put some of y'all on recommended for other people who are childish, immature, and like that type of toxic hippie crap. But I don't. So I wanted to give a round of applause to every childish, nasty pick-me on YouTube. Maybe it will help each one of you toxic, nasty provokers grow up. And I want to give you a round of applause for being low-functional women who actually have children and still act as childish as you possibly can. And I don't like it, and I don't like you. I don't want it abundantly clear, I don't. And being a woman who's older, and I learned that I don't want to act like you. I don't want to look like you. I don't want to talk like you. I don't want to be around any of you. And I would never want any of you on my platform. And I wouldn't ever invite any of you on my platform because I've watched you guys for 2 years and y'all are an embarrassment on YouTube. And I'm sure YouTube has been waiting for me to say it. Because I'm sure everybody else has told you, like Sean Davy Way, King Payne. I forgot. There's childish men like Armand Wiggins and Stormisha who like to steal sound bites, just like Sweet Pea Diaries. They can explain that in federal court, civil court, county court, and criminal court. Because I'm aware of DJ Drama, who stole my LMS and it's $1,400, and you're going to run me my cash money. And you better have it in stacked bundles of C notes. And I mean it. And I'll take that in 50s and 20s as well. To make it abundantly clear. So that will be Jason Lee's homeboy, the same Jason Lee that got hacked by Karen Civil, Tasha Trantorini Kiwi's minion. So I'm making sure Belle Salas has a solid case. And then I'm also making sure I have a solid case because Belle Salas is the same one who said she wanted to kill a hoe. But Carlos Ellie called me a hoe, and I'm not a hoe. So I want to make sure each one of these classless hoes on YouTube and turkey neck chickens and cackling hens who are playing these nasty games on behalf of Uzziah Zeke Allison. I wanted to make sure these cackling hens would sit there and find them something safe to do. Because I'm sick of y'all. You're like a bunch of Canadian geese, birds of a feather flock together. And bird named females never stop until somebody gets on their neck. Then they want to play victim. That's what CP Diaries does. That's what Cups of Conversation does. That's what AC2 does. That's what Mel Lipstick Tiva does. That's what, Lovely T does. That's what several people have done on YouTube. And I watched you all do it. And look, Naked Night does. Several of you black YouTubers who are embarrassment to YouTube. And I'm making sure that everybody understands who's all embarrassing on YouTube. And I'm tired of it. So I decided to embarrass all of you. And Sean Davey Way says, she said revenge is best served cold. Why don't you find something safe to do instead of being a toxic provoker? And Chanel Wright, that ex-homegirl from high school, sat on your platform and watched you do the same thing. And since you want to talk about children and eyelashes and whatnot, why don't you buy my child's mink eyelashes and find you something safe to do too? So does anybody else want to talk about anything? Hair lip. Does anybody else want to talk about these toxic YouTubers who think they're above everything but like to expose celebrities like Sean Davey Way? Because I'm not through with your butt either. And since you said revenge is best served cold, and people say that I'm drinking toilet bowl water juice, or they were sitting up there playing on your platform doing this, and some of your YouTubers were doing that. Oh, and then the white boy that was talking about my toothbrush was in the toilet and things like that. There's several people who need to be humbled across YouTube. So Sam in the UK will be humbled fairly soon. And I made it abundantly clear that I'm not going to put up with any more toxicity. Here's why. Let me read you guys something interesting. I legitimately actually wrote this out earlier today because I didn't want to get angry and upset because too many people on YouTube were doing it. And I watched them in people's chats, like Chuck No Jokes chat, and several people were using my name on Kwame Brown's chat and my actual name that I usually had on Facebook was Cece. And several people were using that and cloning my account and doing it on YouTube. They did it on Facebook, and I addressed it to Facebook. I addressed it on several platforms. So I want you guys to understand, I'm happy you're not being bothered by any of you YouTubers. I'm autistic high functioning. And I self-disciplined myself not to react in an angry manner. So when you see me talking like this, I'm talking over a hoarse voice. So you understand my voice carries. And I dare any one of you to sit there and mention me on YouTube. Because I asked you not to passive-aggressive, ambient, provoke, or do cryptic things, or play side ops, nasty out-of-order games that Uzziah Zeke Allison had trees doing, or other people doing, and it was confirmed. And when I said I'm not going to be aggravated by a childish man, it means a rich, wealthy white one, and a rich, wealthy, mixed black and white one, and a Trinidadian, nasty, musty, out-of-order, provoking, gaslighting one, and an Armenian one that my FedEx Jonathan worked for. And then the Trinidadian one that my FedEx Jason worked for. His homeboy is Brian Birdman Baby Williams. His cousin is Angelique Gaines, who is Medina on WeTV. Used to date French Montana. So you don't know who people know adjacently from dating them. So I'm not going to put up with this on YouTube. And I warned you, cackling hens. One too many times. You want crazy to make me play stupid, goofy games, but you're not realizing I have a lot of contacts. And I have a lot of people who love me to pieces, from Chicago to LA to New York to Philly, everywhere, even in Los Angeles. Because my uncle's from Los Angeles. I got family all over the place, even in Canada. And they've been watching this close, and they don't like none of you. And when I've gone through these crappy provokings and gaslightings, and I told you all, don't keep selling my stuff, and I warned each one of you who want to do this for a clout chase, what was going to happen, I meant it. Because I'm tired of being seen on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, or Clubhouse, or any platform, yelling, screaming, and hollering, and people don't know why. So make sure that each one of you cackling hens got embarrassed today. I want you guys to understand what I documented. And the road to success is dotted with many tempting parking spaces. But what I'm not going to do is park at YouTube parking lots and have to sit up here and tell nasty, narcissistic, childish, immature, nasty women who are involved in the provoking and nasty men who are involved in the provoking gaslighting and think that they're absolved of this. I don't forget a slight. I don't forget disrespect. And I don't forget toxic Pitney Patrick, nasty, narcissistic games. And I don't forget that my child got provoked and gaslit. And each one of you toxic, nasty Pitneys that are sitting on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Snap, WhatsApp, keep playing these disgusting games like Diane, Tamika Diane, Latoya, and several others who are connected to my FedEx, Jonathan David Allison, Uzziah Freaky ZZ Allison, BMF DEA Allison, Monica Toomer Allison, all about the T's ex-husband, the same one that went to the OWN network, Funky Dineva Ross, Clinton Latham, and then on top of that, T.S. Madison, who is friends with Nikki and is friends with Clinton Latham. Have I made it clear? I'm clearing house and shutting the front door on this. I'm sure YouTube subscribers and YouTube people who've had to sit up there and put up this childishness understand why I'm doing this. And I'm sure they're absolutely glad, and so is YouTube. I think that I'm resting my case that is set in stone, that I have every right to sue and every right to pursue legal damages, financial damages, economic damages, business damages for every year that you've done this. And I do not want to be with anybody that will play these type of games. I will not work with anybody that plays these toxic games on multiple platforms, as I addressed earlier today. And since I asked you professionally, sometimes not so professionally, because you want to keep taxing my emotional health or my mental health or keep on playing psychotic games, that I'm ready to go to court because I've asked you each to quit. And multiple times, and each of you won't. And you keep on playing these narcissistic games to get your names out there and sit there and play these clout games. It's not going to work out well. I want everybody to know why these cackling hens won't be getting any clout off of me. And I'm making sure I'm exploding these YouTube streets tonight. So when I decided to pull up today, I wanted to make sure I had guns a-blazing and I had all my receipts. I wanted to make sure that each one of you understood that I don't play. I don't like being played with. And when I said I was going to take you to church, and be louder than a motorbike on these streets, it's just like the need for a YouTube court for these type of people. And a need for a review of several YouTubers and remove them like I suggested to YouTube myself. And they changed those rules 2 years ago that none of you are covered in your toxic, nasty antics. And it's in those YouTube bylaws. It's also in Twitter bylaws. It's also in Facebook bylaws. It's also on Instagram bylaws. And it's also on Twitch and also WhatsApp and Kik. So it looks like none of you guys are going to be protected by YouTube and making false reports. YouTube will take your YouTubes for making false reports, and they're aware of all the multiple false reports each one of you made on several YouTubers, including me. So it looks like the gavel's been thrown down. And it looks like I'm going to be George Jefferson walking all over you. And you guys wanted a battle, you got one. And when I told each one of you women to stop playing with me or I would slap you with a lawsuit, I meant it. Ow! Oh, this sounds good. Ow! Ow! And each one of you males, Stormisha, Storm Monroe, and then on top of that, Armand Wiggins, you stole my soundbite just like Sweet Pea Diaries. So I expect you to get my shit off of there. And I am original. And you said be original, bitch. Yeah, I am being original. And I'm not nobody's bitch. So I want to make sure I slap each one of you and humble each one of you today. Ow! So all the chicken heads on YouTube. guys understand what it means to get punched in your eyeball verbally. And how many times I'm going to keep doing it till you quit. And maybe that will help each one of you guys understand that there's a lot of people who are just like an angry mob ready to hunt y'all down on these YouTube streets and get you off of here, just like I am. Because we're all sick of you. So when I made sure that y'all wanted to play these games, I made sure that you guys got caught. So it looks like all of y'all need to be explaining yourselves, and I'm tired of it. Because in HR, we're taught about doing investigations. And I was taught that in organizational management, business management, communications 101. And sometimes you got to act like a fool to catch a fool. So I figured each and every last one of y'all would understand that. And by the time it's all said and done, each one of you guys will be laughed out of YouTube. So the last and final warning to all YouTubers about presenting fact, fiction, celebrity gossip, and other such ilk, and doubling down on being nasty, stupid, or out of order, provoking, gaslighting, or being a bully, passive-aggressive provoker, or doing childish, abusive things, or little things to push the buttons of other fellow YouTubers, you can be removed off of YouTube because they have it in those rules. You need to read them. So I told each and every last one of you, if you make any type of copyright strikes or content strikes, and some of you did it, like Tasha transferring to Kiwi, just to get my address unlawfully, illegally, and you thought it was going to work out well for you, I will sue the brakes off of each and every last one of you, because Matthew drove by my house. That's Gianna Avery Allison's father-in-law. That would be Matthew Knowles. He was in that champagne-colored car, just like Solange was in that burgundy car. That's Gianna's people. So I made it abundantly clear that I don't like none of you. And the Cardinals need to sue each and every last one of you, including John David Allison, Monica Toomer Allison, all about the tea. And YouTube needs to remove her channel based on gross domestic terrorism, emotional abuse, tormenting, gaslighting, that her boyfriend, Carlos Ellie, who's actually a DEA agent, who fucked her and crossed the line of integrity. Have I made it clear? Monica, the Bishop, Princess, Sanitra, oh, I forgot Shanitra, who drove by Monica's house. Because I don't like Monica, but what you're not going to do is terrorize me the way y'all did Monica. What you're not going to do is dox me like you did Monica, because I ain't got shit to do with her. And what you're not going to do is provoke me and gaslight me. The feds are already looking for Monica. So Shanitra, Princess, and all the rest of you goofy folks like I forgot, Marmaduke, Marcella, who worked for the police department, retired. I'm not going to put up with none of y'all. And since all of y'all are doing your apology tours, apology not accepted. And I've watched each one of y'all tell these doggone lies, and I've been able to debunk it because the IT police that were actually doing the tampering and whatnot and sitting up there doing the investigation on top of this, they were tapping my IP. They've heard every bit of this and the debunking. So they're aware of each one of y'all's parts in this. So get prepared to be sued. I'm not the one who's going to be suing you, per se. It's other parties who are sick of each and every last one of you. So I wanted to make sure that the example is Cardi B suing Tasha transferring to Kiwi. Because Tasha doesn't have liability insurance. She doesn't have media insurance. She doesn't even have a media license to be doing what she's been doing on the YouTube streets. Like a lot of you celebrity bloggers who sit around here and do all the stuff to celebrities. Just like Monica Toomer Allison, all about the tea, doesn't have license, but sitting around here as your favorite YouTube therapist, psychiatrist, and doesn't have bit more a psychiatry license. Oh, the same one that was sitting on Tales from the Cult, Gina stuff. And let me finish dragging Tales from the Cult. I got family in Las Vegas, and they'll come see you at your front door. And let you know if you ever mention me again, or you ever threaten DCNF to me again, you'll be in a federal court so fast it won't be any funny. So I want to make sure that everybody understood this. Because when televisions can be tapped, and when there are computers that can be tapped, desktops, and then Roxanne, you were playing with Wi-Fi, and you told on yourself, I watched you do it, and telling yourself, moron. Maybe that'll humble you a bit. So you never know if I'm sitting in the bushes watching, and you incriminate yourself. So those IT strings I traced to Chicago, Mr. West and Roxanne can explain that. Mr. West, who also went to Atlanta, and Caitlin, that's DEA, that was down in Pensacola, Florida, and also around Calabasas, California. That's a DEA agent. Have I made it clear? Some not never was the YouTube police. But let this be a warning to people who sit on YouTube and do all these toxic, narcissistic, provoking, gaslight games. There are actual social media police. I think there should be social media babysitters for people like Tasha Trent and Kibi who double down on stupid. Trees who double down on stupid, being a narcissistic, nasty pick-me and a disgusting farting clown. Or play toxic games until it backfires in their face. Or they tell themselves on Hot Shot Radio and tell that they sat there and won those records because of Tasha Trent and Kibi. Oh yeah, I'm making sure Belle Salis' case is solid. Because I don't like you. It looks like I farted on your tongue, didn't it? So I wanted each one of these toxic pick-me-ishas who's been playing these nasty games to understand you're about to lose your job. And those of you who are undercover playing these nasty, toxic, provoking, gaslight games, you're going to be fired for gross misconduct. And those of you who are DEA agents who are sitting on YouTube that were playing these narcissistic games on behalf of Uzziah Zeke Allison, you're going to be fired for gross misconduct and negligence and playing toxic, nasty, unhealthy, out of order, provoking, gaslighting games. And the DEA is not going to stand behind you. They're aware of it. So they want to know who their toxic agents are that the guy got on my live talking about, oh, there's agents that can have you killed and that can have you murdered. Oh, I've got police on payroll. I've got, federal agents on payroll. The police are not standing behind that. Neither is the federal government. They've already let me know because the FBI agent came down here who's friends with the director of the FBI. And they let me know the shit that y'all are doing is illegal. And threatening to put child pornography on the computer or trying to set me up, the police are aware of it and they know I didn't do shit. And I dare any one of you to keep talking and playing these games on the internet. Has it made it abundantly clear? I wanted everybody to understand this and celebrity gossip, celebrity news, and more. You never know who's related to celebrities. I'm related to 1/3 of the industry. That's over 25%. They're not happy with none of you, and neither am I. And I warned each one of you who kept mentioning shut the fuck up. That's my actual STFU I'm tweeting. The one that got false reports because of Carlos Ellen. He's going to be fired and terminated. So is Monica Toomer Allison, all about the tea. The avatar and the fake person that sat there on the platform did that to get you off of her back so she can keep her platform. She's about to lose it because she's Tasha Treasury Kibi's friend, the same one that got that money from Atlantis, $600,000, and put it in Tasha Treasury Kibi's account. So she's going to explain it in federal court how she took money from NBC Universal from Brian Birdman Baby Williams, who put it in Atlantis. So Monique Tolbert, who looks like Melody Holt, that was over that own network, she can explain that. Her and Funky Dinah Ross, Quentin Latham. Oops. And since some of you cackling hens like to play these disgusting games, and you turkey neck hens who are miserable, married, have a bunch of grown kids, and some of y'all's kids who are participating in your provoking gaslight games, I want to make sure you cackling hens go sit in the hen house and shut up and get off the YouTube. So that's why I pulled up on these YouTube streets this late at night to let you know that I'm tired of you. So I want to make sure that I exploded these YouTube streets with the truth and facts, not fiction. And I want you guys to understand that you don't keep on playing with someone who's warned you multiple times. It's like war. I'm not playing with none of you. And I'm also slapping each one of you with your own truth and your nastiness and your narcissistic antics. And I'm making sure I humble every one of you stealing sound bites out of order provokers like Armand Wiggins, Stormisha, who stole my backdrop. And, oh, I forgot, this nasty Sweet Pea Drivers who took my soundbite that was from 10 years ago. Ow! So I'm making sure I slap the brakes off of you. Ow! And I want you to understand that you're going to get it off of here or I will content strike you. And Storm, that backdrop that you stole that was on one of your things, hurry up and get it off because those backdrops are 10 years old. So I forgot to tell you morons who were stealing stuff. A lot of this stuff was over 5 and 10 years old. And I've got the receipts. Anybody else got any questions? And since you all like to talk about Whitney receipts, Big Z Martinez is friends with Gina Yerby, Kaisa on Hotshot Radio. The same one that's been on everybody's platform playing games. Gina Yerby is the stripper that used to know Jay-Z and Dame Dash. Rocky's homegirl from New York. Gina Yerby, Angela Yerby's people. And when I've asked you all to stop playing these stupid games on here, and I've asked you all to stop playing these narcissistic, provoking gaslight, I'm making it abundantly clear that I'm not going to put up with this. And y'all do this on every platform. And not only did I just get rid of a bot account on Clubhouse, I'm also sick of y'all on YouTube. And I'm sick of y'all narcissistically abusing, provoking, and gaslighting. And I'm going to make sure that I turn it to subscribers only, so you can no longer go comment in my chat unless you're a subscriber. And that way I can keep track of it, because I'm tired of y'all. And I've warned you guys for 2 to 3 years. I've warned y'all to stop playing with me on the internet. I warned you on Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. And I want you guys to understand where the logic is here. Here's the learning lesson. Tasha is going to be getting a $10 million lawsuit. And Cardi B is going to win this case. I'm going to explain legalities to you guys. And the legal ramifications of Tasha, Terrence, and Akibi sitting up there and saying something about somebody's sexual health, and it wasn't true, unlike Nikki's sexual health, which is true. I'm not going to put up with being provoked and gaslighted by Nikki. And then her nasty narcissistic friend who came down here, Mercedes Bernardo, provoking and gaslighting me. And several people who went in my sexual health information. I want you guys to understand the difference. When you go in somebody's sexual health information, I don't have any STDs, never did. And I can prove that, what's her face? Hannah Campbell, who gave a disease to Vonche, or Vonche gave it to her, Carol James, Vonche's wife, police officer James, who was fucking Hannah Campbell. I went to go get a test at the health department where Nora Campbell worked at. And not only did Nora Campbell go in my record, the stupid bitch put it on social media. Kind of like Tasha transferring to Kibi did to Cardi B. And when you play these type of toxic, nasty, narcissistic games, you literally legitimately can be sued for libel, slander, for harassment, taking protected health information, HIPAA protected, which is Health Information Portability, Privacy, Accountability Act type of information, and putting it on social media. You can be sued for libel, slander. Because see, I never had any STDs. I never had HIV. I never had herpes. I never had syphilis. I never had AIDS. I never had gonorrhea. And I've never had anything. So by the time I see the brakes off of Nora Kimbrough, Nora Kimbrough, Walter Kimbrough, people, by the time I sue the brakes off of Layla Farmer, by the time I sue the brakes off of Kimberly Grasty, Adrienne Kim Grasty Rogers Well, who is DMX Earl Simmons' homegirl, that was in the pictures from way back in the 1990s, in the 2000s, Jason's homeboy. By the time I sue the brakes off Diva Holloway, Mariella Holloway's granddaughter, Dee Dee Holloway at Escambia County Sheriff's Department, Kiana, who is Nathan Dwayne Banks' sister. By the time I sue the brakes off everybody who's playing narcissistic games on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Rachel Riley, who's going in records and playing all these stupid ass games. By the time I get through with Funk Riley, Roberta Millender, my baby daddy, Donald Ray Millender's piece of shit, sorry ass cousin, who's playing on Facebook. By the time I sue the brakes off of each and every last one of you, like Latanya Smith Andress, just like Latoya Wright Johnson, 504 Red 88, who was on my Twitter playing these nasty games and reporting back to Keisha Lance, no bottoms, task force tip, ATF, DEA informant tip, tip line tip, Tamika Diane Cottle Harris, let's say Tamika cussed clean out, and Latasha cussed clean out, that I talked on the phone too. By the time I tear up Zani Pullins, who wanted to catch a fade with me behind Keaton Harris, who's out in California, who's Sabrina's piece of shit son, but Tiny and them adopted him, because Tip is the damn pappy. By the time I tear that sorry ass little bastard, and Tony, who called my phone, the 8819 number, and I cussed her clean out, and that's the sister to Tracy Braxton, who is my other ex, Sean Allen Whitfield's ex-wife, the Section 8 HUD, Section 8 Tracy Braxton, Horace Joe's turkey, a cackling hen, a jackass who played games with me, and her dirty ass sister, Brian Birdman, Baby Williams' wife, Tony Braxton, that called my phone. Yeah, these cackling hens in the industry, slutty garbage's homegirls, mean girls who are playing these toxic games are going to get the issue they were looking for. Does it make it abundantly clear about catching a fade, Donnie? Or punch you enough and let you know how far it is going to be as slapping a lawsuit down your mother's throat. Oh, and the several agents that were sitting there playing these games. So Tamika Diane Cottle, I said what I said, and the DEA and DOJ agent that was on the phone who said what she said, now you know. Find you something safe to do. Does anybody got any questions why I shut the front door on these females? And John David Allison, who worked for Clifford Harris. Have I made it abundantly clear, Tamika Diane Cottle Harris? Your career's on life support. I just pulled the plug. Ow! And all of that was caught on live, so everybody heard the audio, and it was recorded because the DEA was tapping my shit. Got your phone tapped. What you gonna do? Nothing. So when people said the feds were watching, they were. So I wasn't worried about it. Does anybody else have any questions? Does any one of these cackling hens, Roxanne, Snooky, Trees, got anything else to say? So hopefully this will help each one of you, because when I woke up this morning and I turned off my alarm, I said to myself, what am I going to do today? Am I going to wait for all this to stop, or am I going to go finally shut the front door on everybody? Am I going to pull up these YouTube streets? Am I going to handle every last one of you and say it's on and popping? Yeah, sure did. So, court's in session with the Honorable CC. I'm not the person you want to play with, and I'm not a person who has low integrity or low intelligence, and I'm not low functional. And I don't like psy-ops, dev-ops, out of order, provoking, gaslighting, IT games, and each one of you have been pulled in on this, and I made it abundantly clear how far I was going to pull up and let you know. And I was going to be on you like a dog and like a white, like a white on rice. Like an angry pit bull. And understand, when I'm absolutely upset and I'm calm, upset, I'm going to mop the floor with each one of you. So I wanted to make sure each one that was caught chasing like Sweet Pea, take my soundbite off your crap, or I will sue you. I want everybody to understand why this has gone too far. Because there's several toxic individuals who thought it was funny, as long as they were gaining from this, getting cash apps and things like that. But let me bring up something for you guys about cash apps too. You can be actually sued and whatnot if you don't report your cash apps over $600 on 1099. And that's something the IRS has put into place. So each one of you who've been hollering about your cash apps, also Cash App can actually take your cash apps from you for not reporting it, and they can take 30% of your cash apps. So all of you who've been peddling for seafood and ice and water and food and drinks and whatnot, and you've been doing this for well over 2 to 3 years, you're going to have to explain to IRS why you didn't report that as well. Oops. Because see, in business accounting 1 and 2 that I took and I went through it and I made a B on it, it means that LIFO, FIFO, first in, last out, and on the accounting equation, you still have to put assets and liabilities, and it has to balance out. And then when you're playing these toxic, nasty, narcissistic games, the feds can be watching you, and they can be reporting it to the IRS. So each one of you who've been watched for 2 to 3 years probably are going to get an IRS inquiry, and you're probably going to get an IRS audit, just like Tasha Trenchman-Akivi, who told on herself that she didn't turn in her tax return and do all this stuff, and she self-incriminated herself. So I wanted you guys to understand that all your gossiping, chatty patty, provoking, and gaslighting, talking about, oh, I'm making all this money and this, that, and the other, my super chats and my cash app. Well, you have to report it to the IRS over a certain amount, dummy. It looks like a lot of y'all are going to be sitting in court. And all of you who wanted to terrorize me and provoke and gaslight me and thought it was funny, like Mel the Lipstick Diva, who had 82 on her stuff, and she thought it was funny to do. Aren't you the same one who said Tasha Transfer to Kiwi pays $800 to go get information on people? And she did Derek Jackson, the same one that was in my inbox on Facebook. Oh, you mean the same one that he has a whole wife? Oh, you mean the same one that Tasha Transfer to Kiwi got mad because he didn't want to do an interview, just like Belsalis Almanzar, aka Cardi B, didn't want to do an interview with Tasha Transfer to Kiwi, and she went after her because of her homegirl who sent her after her. Oh, you mean Nikki? You mean the same smutty garbage that sent this girl down here to call me Miss Petty? I'm not Miss Petty. So Petty Sour that Tupac put in that whole song a long time ago, Outlaws. Take money. It looks like I'm going to take money across the board. Joe Cartagena, who stole $2 million from Tupac's estate. Celia Cruz is my great grandmother. I look just like her. Oops. So does anybody have any questions so far? That's one of my federal records. And that would be Marion Suge Knight's grandmother and Andre Young and them's great grandmother. So it makes it abundantly clear that John David Allison was playing my face about Pac, and his daddy had everything to do with that death. That I will sue the brakes off the Allison Grassley families, who are DEA informants from 1986 all the way to 1994, 1996, 1997, pause, 2005, 2007, and then pause, and then we're going forward, 2010, 2013, pause, and then on top of that, 2017, 2018, 2019 cases, pause. Oops. So it looks like court's in session. And since Sherelle Cromartie's, Kenny Cromartie's wife, the same one that was on Wild and Out, Nick Cannon's show, Antonio 3D Cannon is his family member. They're very wealthy, and they come from a wealthy family. So not only am I sick and tired of this, Kenny Cromartie's the big dick, little skinny guy with the glasses that was sitting on Wild and Out. And the guy from Philly that was sitting on my Twitter is the same one who's Ashley Kubai's boyfriend. So they were aware of every last narcissistic fucked up thing y'all did. So the industry knows. They're aware of it. And I told the industry I would do this for free and mop the floor with each and every last one of you. So I'm sure every last one of you toxic, nasty, out of order, provoking, gaslighting YouTubers, a lot of you YouTubers who went through this because of each one of you is glad I'm doing it as well. So I want Storm Monroe, who stole my backdrop, Tasha Transfer Nikivi, who's friends with Karen Civil, who's friends with Nikki, my FedEx's wife. They can understand that I'm not playing. And the 2010 phone call, 2011 phone calls from Nikki, the actual DEA and the actual Department of Justice and U.S. Marshals has those calls, just like they have her calls to Jennifer Huff. The same one that John David Allison, Kenny Petty, oh, I forgot Petty Sour, the Tupac mentioned, and his song Outlaws. Take money. By the time it's all said and done, there's going to be a big exchange of wealth. And the several people who thought it was funny plays toxic games, just like those DEA Kardashians that John worked for, they can explain that Mr. West can go divorce his wife finally and get his money, and she can go find her something safe to do. So that explains the Thompson Wi-Fi. And that explains those DEA antics that Caitlin was doing over there at Pensacola Police Department. And I've asked for her to be terminated, fired, walked out, and sit back to Calabasas, California for Chris to go sit her dumbass down and teach her dumbass daughters a lesson who said John was the leak. No, he wasn't. The cases were, moron. So all the people who sat on Nosy Hoes Live, just like Mika and several others who thought it was funny, just like Nicole Martinez, not Crystal Nicole, and they mentioned my name, shut the fuck up, on Twitter, then you're going to explain why you mentioned my name, why you sat up there and stalked me, why you sat there and doxed me on Twitter, and you guys are going to explain that in federal court, civil court, county court, criminal court. The same Nosy Hoes Live. This girl here. That's still on YouTube. And I want her gone. Oh, and I forgot. Her girlfriend, Ashley, is actually an agent. Oops. So it looks like several people are going to jail. And I forgot Lenny, Agent Lenny Grant. That's the actual DEA agent. Uh-huh. So by the time it's all said and done, Nosy Hose was talking to a DEA agent who was watching her dumbass sit there and telling herself to. Oops. Does anybody have any questions? Because I was able to synthesize the voice and I recognized it. That's Lenny Grant. Young and amazed dumbass people. The same one, ooh, that was sitting on my Twitter, that was reporting back to the nasty ass Petty, who's actually a confidential snitch. Does it make it abundantly clear how I really feel about this? Or does it mean I actually showed you guys about investigation, how to do one, and I'm not an investigator. I'm not a private investigator. I'm not DEA. I'm not CIA. I'm not Department of Justice, and I'm not FBI. But like my daughter said, you're better than the FBI. Yeah, I actually am. I'm just autistic high functioning, and my Asperger's helped me. And $7 production if you ever sit there and claim that I cheated in school. I didn't. I studied. I did online studying. And if your fuck ass damn nephew Joseph ever plays with me ever again, I will sue the shit out of you and own $7 production. That's the rock that was stationed in Kentucky with his wife, where I was stationed at. Does anybody have any questions about these Salfa, Fatu, and his dumbass cousin? The Fatu twins, one of the twins that I used to talk to, my A1s from day one that I went to high school with. I talked to the younger one, the one who's married to Trinity, the insecure bitch from WWE. So Sasha Banks, Mercedes Bernardo, they need to straighten her. I don't hate the Foster twins. They're cool. We went to high school together, and their classmate was Roman Reigns, my classmate Joseph from Chicago. Oops. Does anybody have any questions about Joseph and all these antics? And Sasha Banks, Mercedes Bernardo, who called me petty, and called me rude, petty bitch, and called me a ratchet. I'm not. I'm autistic and I'm sick of y'all. And I don't like being played with. So I figured I would mop the floor with everybody and the cackling hen. And I wanted to show you guys in my situation, just like Cardi B's situation, that sometimes you got to act like a celebrity and ignore this. So I did. I ignored it for a lot of the times and proved my argument for a number of weeks, months, and years. In fact, I ignored it so much that it was to the detriment of my health. So I decided that the reckoning and the humbling would happen today because I wanted to make sure I brought in the new year that I'm not going to be terrorized on the YouTube streets. And you're not going to terrorize me, and you're not going to make fake false reports on YouTube. They're watching each and every last one of you. And I dare any one of you to make any more false reports. And I guarantee you, I'm going to terrorize you into oblivion off of YouTube because YouTube's going to do it for me. Because they're aware of it. They've seen what you've done to me. They're aware of it and they're sick of it, and so am I. So let me go ahead and Google those YouTube rules so you guys understand it, so I can read it out to you guys, how you're not protected in all y'all wrongdoing. And YouTube is leaving y'all on your own to be civilly, criminally sued, and they're not going to protect you. And they'll yank your channels for it. Because YouTube doesn't want the liability lawsuits. They told me that themselves. And YouTube and I have a good relationship. And YouTube knows that I didn't come on here to start anything, but I did finish it. And I told the industry I would do the same exact thing because I'm sick of each one of you. Here we go. Here's the rules. Here's their policy on bullying. Our guidelines and policies, progress and impact, harassment, cyberbullying policies. Content that threatens individuals is not allowed on YouTube. We do not allow content that targets an individual with prolonged malicious insults based on provoking and gaslighting, bullying. Oh, you mean the things that I addressed that y'all did to me? Or you passive aggressively did to me that Monica Toomer Allison All About the Tea did? hiding behind an avatar. Here it is. The safety of our creators, viewers, and partners is our highest priority. We look up to each of you to help us protect this unique and vibrant community. It's important to you to understand the community guidelines, the role that they play, and our shared responsibility. Take the time to carefully read the policy. We recently announced some updates on our harassment policy to better protect creators and users. That includes special classes, special needs, or anybody of any protected class, including gay, lesbian, bisexual, homosexual. That includes John Davy Way. That includes Armand Wiggins. So, Sweet Pea Diaries, you'll use the word faggot towards John Davy Way. You want to make that apology? Apology not accepted to anybody that's of the LGBTQIA community. I'm not LGBTQIA, but I am an ally. So how dare you sit there with that fake ass apology so you won't get your YouTube channel taken? So hopefully they'll strike your ass and take your off there. And then you also stole my soundbite, so that's 2 strikes. So hopefully they'll take you off of there real soon. And maybe that'll humble you. So content that threatens the individual is not allowed on YouTube. We also don't allow content that targets an individual with prolonged malicious insults based on intrinsic attributes. That includes physical traits or anything else. So that includes teeth. Storm Monroe. So it looks like you're about to get strike too. Since you want to talk about teeth. And that's a European trait that I got from Europe. From European actual genes. So my teeth aren't automatically white. I've been whitening them. But how dare you talk about my teeth while you stole my soundbite and my backdrop, just like Armand Wiggins. Just like Sweet Pea Diaries did. So does it make it abundantly clear to each one of you? If you find it violates policy, report it. Community guidelines are available, and you can report the channel. But luckily, I haven't reported y'all's channels. I gave y'all ample enough time to hang yourselves, and I gave y'all ample enough time to get my shit up off of there. And since I was told on several lives, and people who were terrorizing me actually told on themselves and said, people are streaming your content and restreaming it and playing these games, then it means I have rights to sue each one of you who've done it. If threats were made against you like multiple of you have done to me, inadvertently and did it on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, then contact y'all law enforcement. So it looks like I covered that 2 to 3 years ago. I covered that 10 years ago and 12 years ago, overlapping situations, and it was carried on to social media. So law enforcement has those reports too. And I'm not a police behind person, but when you're threatening my life, you're threatening my child, and you're catfishing her, and then you're screenshotting her, and you were terrorizing my child on behalf of several people who are involved in federal DEA cases, like my FedEx and their nasty families, then I have every right to sue you. Anything that attributes, including protected status, physical attributes, or status as a survivor of sexual assault, non-consensual intimate imagery. Oh, you mean the revenge porn that John threatened? Uzziah Zeke Allison's son did? That he did to Rachel, he did to me? And then y'all sitting around here threatening to put it on YouTube, Twitter, and I heard that you had done it before. I have every right to sue you. Domestic abuse, child abuse, or more, or threatening to call CPS like Monica Toomer Allison did on Tails thing, Gina, Tales from the Cult. So it looks like each one of you are getting kicked off of YouTube for these exact reasons. And I outlined, YouTube changed these rules in October 25th of last year. Oops, I told y'all. I told you they had already changed those rules also and updated them from 2 years ago when I addressed it with them. And I explained it to them from an HR standpoint and risk management standpoint, what they need to do to make YouTube and any social media platform safer. So it looks like I covered my bases while y'all are playing these stupid games and want stupid prizes today. Anything intent to shame, deceive, or insult a minor, which y'all done it to my minor, played with her, and then inadvertently come out, oh, I didn't use names, but I know who you were talking about. So it looks like every last one of you I've addressed on here about it. You owe my minor an apology, and you owe yourself and everybody else in your viewers an apology for your despicable misconduct and playing these disgusting games, because we're all tired of you. So I've never been a bully. I was asked to look at it. A minor is defined as an individual legal age of majority, and this means anyone younger than 18 years old, which my child's under 18. So it means each one of your nasty, narcissistic, provoking gaslight games, which each one of you did to my minor, you can be subsequently sued. And me as the mother can sue the brakes off of you. And it can vary by geography. So a minor can be considered up to 18 and 18 plus. In some countries, up to 25. Anything that's related to high-profile officials and government leaders, including CEOs or government officials or protected Department of Defense personnel or government-affiliated officials. Oh, you mean me being a Department of Defense family member, generational, and work for the Department of Defense with a high clearance? So it looks like you play with the right one. Harassment, content that is simulated harassment, and willing participants, bad actors, and provokers and gaslighters, cyberbullying, and provoking and gaslighting anybody who's of a special class, including disabled. That includes me, disabled, autistic high functioning. So when I made sure you guys understood this, you can lose your monetization, repeatedly encouraging abusive audience behavior, repeatedly targeting, insulting, abusing identifiable individual based on their intrinsic attributes, and several uploads doing that. So you mean what Tasha Transferring Kiwi did to Cardi B? What she did to me, inadvertently talking about disabilities and disabled people while she's financially disabled, can't pay her bills, scamming, keeping people on scamming, frauding, blackmailing Clifford Harris. They're protected. They're celebrities. And they're public officials, just like Velsalis Alamanzar. So I've outlined how Tasha Kibi is losing her case and for mentioning sexual health and whatnot. But see, the difference between me and them is I outlined where the source came from. And I asked, is this true? And I didn't say it was a fact. I said where it came from and who did it. And I provided the audio just like everybody else did. So my bases are covered in media, and I went to school for journalism in high school. I was on the school newspaper, and I was told by an Italian, Mr. Gold, with his little ring, kiss the ring. And that Italiano taught me Vendi Vedi Vici. He taught me how to be a good journalist, how to do good, integrity-driven journalism. That includes up to celebrity journalism. Anything that has to do with public officials and politicians. You have to be very careful, and you better have insurance, and you better have receipts. I told you all this for 2 to 3 years. I warned you all on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. I warned you all what the rules were. And I told you from an HR standpoint that you all were risking your channels by doing that. And I said, if you don't have liability insurance, risk insurance, media license, or anything to protect yourself, then good luck. And it looks like all of that is outlined right here. Anything for personal financial gain, and you do this, YouTube's not liable. If you get 3 strikes, your channel will be terminated. YouTube is not responsible. We'll send you an email to let you know to take this down. You will likely get a warning, but if you repeatedly done it, like both of you content creators who did this, you're getting your channel snatched without question, because YouTube is not going to assume the liability. And it's here in the fine print. I guess you morons didn't read it. So all these passive-aggressive provoking, gaslighting, and doing childish abusive little things to push buttons of other YouTubers, and you were reported multiple times. I'm not the only one. You were reported multiple times for terrorizing me. You were reported multiple times for terrorizing other YouTubers who are new to YouTube. So each one of you high-volume content creators stand to lose your account just like anybody else. And YouTube is not going to protect you. They already have it in, here it is. Maliciously hurting and harming others, or emotionally harming special classes or special needs, or people who've been survivors of domestic abuse, domestic terrorism, and things like that. And that's outlined right here. Inciting hostility between creators for financial gain. Oh, you mean everything I told you all that you can get dinged for and kicked off of there for? Oh, and there it is that covers that, such as cyberbullying and raise awareness and simulated harassment. So it looks like each one of you who did this, King Oz and all the rest of you toxic provokers and gaslighters, you shit and fell in it. So let this be the humbling and reckoning that you all needed on social media, because I try not to do it myself. And since I fell into that fold because of y'all's provoking and gaslighting and creating hostility on the internet, YouTube is well aware of it. So all your false reports are going in the trash can. And they're aware of it. And they're sick of all of y'all, and so am I. So I wanted to make sure that you guys understood that I'm not the boogeyman on these streets, but I can be. So I wanted to shut the front door on several people who like to provoke and gaslight other YouTubers and drew them into things. So I wanted to make sure when I pull up on these YouTube streets, you put some respect on my name and find something safe to do. So each one of you cackling chicken heads better leave me alone. And I mean, so the IT tampering that was done, 729-3E5, Elula 04E628. I want her brother in Huntsville picked up on warrants, and I want Melody Holt picked up on warrants. That's Monique Tolbert, Monica Toomer Allison's dumbass homegirl. And then AT&T 7XTS8PG, and the Net Bureau 4 is actually the police department. They're aware of it. They master IP. And then the hidden network that's sitting on here, that's the actual feds that have been watching this shit. Anybody have any questions? Repeated encouraging abusive audience behavior, provoking gaslight, and terrorizing me, and bot farms that Monica had and Tina had, and the Tina autocorrect that Tina's been messing with, and the phone companies already turned on them and turned on Uzziah Zeke Allison and John David Allison and Jeremy Allison, Breach Young's baby daddy, and they're going to be getting federal warrants for unlawful wiretap, invasion of privacy, provoking gaslight games, and providing it to each one of you toxic YouTubers who are playing these nasty narcissistic games. So it looks like you all have shit and fell in it. It's no laughing matter. So it looks like each and every last one of you will be getting kicked off YouTube fairly soon. So I wanted to give you guys this example because when we're thinking about this and we're thinking about self-discipline and mastery, I had to be self-disciplined on social media. I literally had to let everybody know my rules and regulations. So when I did that on Twitter, when I did that on Periscope, when I did that on Twitch, when I did that on Clubhouse, when I did it on Bigo, when I did it on Facebook, and when I did it on Instagram, that was to let you guys know my rules and regulations and what I said I don't like and what I said you guys need to stop doing. And when I asked you multiple times, because I knew the feds were watching. And I was pulled in a room in 2016 at my job, 2017 at my job, and they let me know about the cases that were ongoing, federal, that my FedExes were involved in, and Monica's name was in it. And I'm ready to sue the brakes off of each one of you who participated. Because when I get used as a pawn, and then I have to fight each and every last one of you on the YouTube streets, and I don't really normally act like that, and I don't normally go off like that, and when you've caused a lot of problems, then I want to make sure that I ring y'all's doorbell. And I shut the front door on each one of you. And I made sure I pulled up the YouTube streets and let you know exactly who you're playing with. So I told you guys it was all out war. And I told y'all shots fired and missed. So hopefully this will teach all of y'all, because Tasha Trencher-Nikiti is about to lose her case with Bel Salas Salazar. She's going to lose it because she ran her mouth too much on YouTube. She played these narcissistic games, chopped up films, and kept on playing provoking gaslight games with multiple YouTubers. She also subsequently named these YouTubers like Sean Davey Way, Lovely T, the same toxic YouTubers who are provoking and gaslighting, playing games with me, just like the nasty narcissistic Neek at Night. So several people are going to be thrown off of YouTube because you guys are involved in several cases and play these toxic narcissistic games. And plus, you stole things from me and you went unlawfully in a computer information system, which is unlawful wiretap, unlawful access to computer information systems. And then you also thought you were going to play these games and win at this battle. But it was traced and there was forensic IT levels of looking into it, and each one of you were told on, and nobody's going to protect you. So I wanted to make sure each one of you understood how the game is played. I played chess, not checkers. And since I was learning how to play chess, I learned one thing. The black queen is the most important piece on the playing board. Anybody's got any questions? Since Onika wanted to make an EP queen, and that's what's in my federal records, signed, sealed, and delivered. I'm yours. Crown me. Anybody's got any questions? So those that ask me about Anna and Andrew on social media, you're going to go to jail because you went in federal records and it's sealed. I don't have a problem with Anna and Andrew. We're related. I don't have a problem with the UK. We're related directly. British Knight. Boop. So does anybody have any questions about all these antics and whatnot? My auntie and my uncle are pissed off. My uncle's getting released from prison, and he's nuclear ticked off. They saved my life when I was a baby and saved my sister's life when she was a baby. We were adopted together. And how dare you, T.S. Madison, go on my records? How dare you, Onika, go in my records? How dare you, Jonathan, go in my records? And how dare you, Uzziah, go in my records? How dare you play these games, T.S.? You're a bully. It's on Lipstick Alley about you and your connections with Tasha Trencher and Akivi. Monica Toomer Allison, all about the tea. I saw it myself. And I want warrants for the arrest of each and every last toxic, nasty pick-me and pick-me Patrick who was sitting on YouTube playing games, who were sitting on Twitter playing games and doxing me and terrorizing me on the internet. So I told the industry I would do this for free. So I wanted to make sure you cackling chicken heads understand you're doing chicken coop together in a jail cell, cell block 8. So when I get back on these YouTube streets on my normal coaching, I don't expect to be terrorized, provoked, and gaslit. And the bot farm and troll farm seemingly has stopped. I made it abundantly clear that I'm not going to be put enough of this anymore. And each one of you toxic YouTubers who's involved in all this, Meek at Night, I hope you lose your channel. Armand Wiggins, I hope you lose your channel. Wiley, I hope you lose your channel. Stormisha, Storm Monroe. Bradley Albert Child, that's Storm Monroe. Your birthday's not in April, it's in August. And you were in Arizona before you moved to Atlanta and Tasha transferred into Kiwi's house. Chicky Kiwi's dirtbag, beige punk. They want to play these nasty games about my teeth color. So does anybody have any questions? The reason why Europeans' teeth are actually that color is because their water is not good. There's lead in the pipes, and it comes from generations. So by the time I tear y'all asses up for all the shit you did, what was sealed in those records are at the CIA level. The reason why is because it was foreign diplomats who are my family. And I'm ready to tear y'all asses up for it. The records that are at the FBI, Department of Justice level, that T.S. Madison's dumbass and Nikki did, and Jonathan did, playing in records, that was covering up the real records. And I'm ready to sue the shit out of y'all. I asked y'all to stop playing with me on the internet, and there was the reason why. Because you compromised the safety of me and my sister. And when it was told to me on social media, it was done for our safety, and I had to find that out on social media, and y'all want to play these toxic doxing games, provoking and gaslighting games, you can guarantee I'm ready to put my foot all over y'all's necks every day until you quit. So, does anybody have any questions, Cups, that was sitting on Monica Toomer Allison's thing, and now you're sitting on AT2 stuff, playing all these games, but you've been on everybody's platform playing toxic games? I wanted to humble every last toxic YouTuber because Black YouTube is my sector, because I identify as Black, although mixed Black and white. I watch white YouTube. I have no problem with white YouTube. I support it. I support Black YouTube. Black YouTube could be billionaires, millionaires if y'all stop acting ignorant on the YouTube and being as ignorant as y'all possibly can be, provoking as you possibly can be, emotionally abusive as you possibly can be, and hopefully the courts will sue the brakes off of Tasha's transfer to Kiwi and the amount of the $10 million that's being asked for and court costs and fees. And Cardi B, I hope she wins it. They'll sell us Almanzar. Because there's no reason for anybody playing these type of games on YouTube. YouTube is supposed to be fun. It's been miserable. Twitter's supposed to be fun. It's been miserable. Periscope is supposed to be fun. It was miserable. I don't have a problem with Cardinals. I didn't have a problem with Kardashian West. They know John. But once you go and toxically play these provoking gaslight games, and I find out people are being mean girls, and then people throwing people underneath the bus because they're worried about their part in it, too bad you're a toxic mean girl, mean boy. Should have thought about that before you crossed the line. You just didn't know who the hell I was. But I do. I've known for 30 years and said nothing. And watch you morons do it. I'm not name calling, that's my perception of how y'all act. So let this be a harsh lesson in insulting, bullying, and terrorizing and provoking, and being a nasty bully, a terrorizer, a passive-aggressive provoker, word salad inclined, nasty, narcissistic, childish, abusive, pick me Patrick on the internet. Why don't y'all focus on getting your own content instead of stealing it like Roxanne did for several? Like this wealthy, well-connected goon did for several. And he's going to be sued. DJ Drama that was on Jason Lee, I hope you fired him, terminated him, because that's Santana Romeo that died a long time ago on Steve Harvey's show. And when people added Steve Harvey on my Twitter, and they thought that shit was funny to do, I meant what I said. I don't like being played with. And then on top of that, Solange Knowles and Witness Protection, Millie Milagro milligrams with the nose revision, and the titties done. The same one that's Mob Radio. Balls, yeah, Mia's friend. Oh, you mean Millie Milagro that was on my Twitter? Or do you mean Calendria Rowland was on my Twitter? They all saw the shit y'all did. So I don't have a problem with the industry. I got a problem with each one of you asshats. So those petty games backfired spectacularly in y'all's face. And Tasha's petty games going after Bessala Salamentar on behalf of Nikki is backfired in her face. Because I'm sure Tasha's going to go and dry snitch everybody out. Because she doesn't want to be by herself in this. From what I heard, she's already documented some of you YouTubers. And YouTube is not going to stand for that. So it looks like some of y'all YouTubers better figure out how you're going to fess up to YouTube so you can save your channel. Because you're going to stand to lose it just like Tasha Trench and Kiwi. Because that's part of probably Cardi B's stipulations for her to have her YouTube channel removed. And it should. And so should Monica Toomer Allison, all about the tea. And this whole new psychiatrist who's sitting around here playing on here, that's Monica. I know her. The same one who doesn't have a psychiatric degree and doesn't have a psychologist degree and doesn't even have a certification in the first, like I do. And I'm going to school for psychiatry psychology, and several Ivy League schools have offered me opportunity to get my master's and my PhD. So does anybody have any questions? So at the same time, bulletproof motivation and self-discipline, I had to self-discipline myself to be bulletproof motivated. So I'm out the floor with each one of y'all because I'm sick of y'all's antics. So we've been on here 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 58 seconds. And I'm tired of y'all. So let this be the final warning, and I want to give it to y'all blood raw. That I'm not playing with none of y'all. Just because I don't be online doesn't mean I don't see what y'all do. Because I do. I was told to watch each one of you. I watched Tasha do it for 2 years. I watched Monica do it for 2+ years, and the bishop threatened, provoked, and gaslight, and was caught by the local police department. They're aware of his shitbag ass antics. The bishop, the fat guy that looks like Grimace, the Hamburglar, and he blamed it on Monica and said she did it in the script. So Monica's going to explain that in federal court, civil court, county court, criminal court, and how she threatened Clifford Harris, Zonique Pullen's stepdad. Do the stepdad, do the stepdad, do the stepdaddy. Does anybody have any questions? And Mimi, in your toxic antics, you're not absolved of all your provoking gaslight games. Because 11 hip slop Atlanta games, the Act Bar confirmed, Young Thug's baby mama, oh, I forgot, Katie Burst's cousin, they all confirmed all the shit y'all did. So they're all aware of what all you petty, nasty, out-of-order provokers did. And some people have watched y'all do it. So it looks like y'all got caught in it. Anybody got any questions? I don't hate the industry, I just don't like you. Does anybody have any questions? I figured I would make sure that this ended 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 19 seconds. So this is the Humbling and Reckoning live from your friendly YouTube HR news and coaching channel. So don't keep messing with my brand. Don't keep messing with me. And don't try to mess with my platform. And if I find any of my content or any of my sound bites on any of your stuff, you're going to get a copyright strike. because I have the license from 10 years ago. And I also have the receipt. And I also have the machine that proves that you stole it. Does anybody have any questions? It's kind of like what they use when artists steal beats or they sample somebody's stuff without authorization. Does anybody have any questions? Hope that helps each one of you know. I'm very tech savvy. I went to school for Microsoft CompTIA, MCSE, MCSA. I dropped out though. It was boring. I should have finished, but I self-taught myself about computers. So I was able to ping IP addresses, and I saw the ones from Chicago, Louisiana, Calabasas, California, Liverpool, the German data center, and HostGator, 101 Ionis, and GoDaddy all confirmed the same shit. So it looks like Quentin Latham, Funky Dineva Ross, you're finished and through. And that's a girl. Our husband was cheating on us, girl. What rich cars, what a Honda cars be. They like to play between our butt. Anybody got any questions? I don't hate Quentin Latham. I just don't like being provoked and gaslit. Because I saw him down here. We met face to face. Salute. Anybody got any questions? I want to thank Quentin Latham for actually coming forward and being honest. Working honest, but it pays the bills. So hopefully T.S. Madison, who had the Darth Vader mask, and we played a game, OG Rock, and John's name was Darth Blood. You can explain that and why you took off the YouTube thing, but it was on the dark web, and I was able to pull it up, and I was able to prove that your dumbass was involved. Oops. So Onika's homegirls and their petty antics backfired in her face. Mona Scott Young needs to be suing Petty. Oh, I forgot Onika's manager that claims he ain't got no money. He does got plenty of money. He's got Nikki's money. And Nikki's going to pay for all her petty shit. The girl that called my phone on Sprint, and they got the records already. It was subpoenaed 5 years ago. Anybody got any questions? I didn't think so. So let me take y'all out of here with some good music. I'm done mopping the floor with y'all and the cackling hens. Hopefully, Tasha Transfer Nikki will learn her lesson about being a provoker, gaslighter, and telling lies on people, and then harassing and terrorizing other people, doxing people like Nosy Host Live did. So, Carol, the DEA is looking for you. And I forgot you made so much money. Why didn't you report it to the IRS? Just like Tasha Transfer Nikki. And since all y'all are in on it together, and Monica Tumor Allison, and you sat there and blame Monica, Nosy Host, then you can explain why your butt's back on YouTube and playing all these games, and you and Ashley are going to get fired and terminated from your jobs. Oops, I don't like you either. Does anybody got any questions? So the mermaids and mermods can finally go to jail for doxing and terrorizing others on YouTube. Does anybody got any questions, Sweet Pea Diaries? Like I told you, get my shit off of there. Anybody got any questions to any other YouTuber who wants to play stupid games? You want stupid prices today? And it just showed you Investigations 101. And I'm not an investigator. I'm not a PI. I'm not Department of Justice. I'm not FBI. I'm not CIA. I'm a mother sick of your shit. And once you fuck with my child and play with my child one too many times, I mop the floor with all of y'all. Because you played with my child one too many times, and one pissed off mama is nothing you want to play with. They're better than the FBI. Anybody got questions? So let's go put some music on and relax. So here's the learning lesson in all of this. Discipline is crucial for everything in our lives, including dealing with toxic antics, bullying, and domestic terrorism on the internet, provoking gaslighting, unlawful doxing, illegal wiretaps, invasion of privacy, domestic abuse, and terrorism. I don't hate Cardi B. My homegirl knows her and knows Takeoff. I don't have a problem with Cardi B. I want Cardi B to win her case. I certainly don't hate Cardi B. I don't either like her either. But one thing about it, right is right, wrong is wrong. And self-discipline is crucial because there's so many different distractions trying to divert our attention from what's important, what's truly worthy. And I've earned my stripes in being a worthy YouTuber. I've done really well in trying to keep my composure and be as nice as I can. And since most of you toxic picnies and pickney Patricks want to play games, I decided to go along to get along, and I decided to act like a fool to play a fool, and each one of you told on yourself. And that's part of the investigation. And part of it is that what's going on? How could somebody have such much potential fail to do well? Most of you who saboteur, provocateur me, provoke and gaslit me, you're the reason why. And I hope you get sued because you not only messed up my brand, you not only messed up my presentations multiple times, you not only narcissistically abused, terrorized, and provoked my daughter, but you played in my face. And then you played with my intelligence. And then you thought it was funny to do. So with that, you may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, and it's been proven that each one of you YouTubers aren't the sharpest tools in the shed. Or you think you're so smart, or you got Dunning-Kruger effect, and you think you can never be touched. Or you think that because you're a big YouTube account that you can't be taken down. You can't. I just outlined how you can. Just like Tasha Trench and Akibi can. And YouTube's probably going to make an example out of her, and I don't blame them. I suggest it. Because that's the talk I had with YouTube myself about it before I sue the brakes off of YouTube if they don't get her ass up off of it. So I made it clear to Susan, we're good. I don't have a problem with YouTube. They don't have a problem with me. They know that I'm trying to brand and rebrand. They know I've been through a lot. They also changed the rules as well because I outlined all these risk things that happen on YouTube for a number of years, and they need to get it together because they're a $1 trillion, billion-dollar company. And a lot of YouTubers are a risk to their platform and their business model, just like a lot of people were a risk to my business model and my platform on multiple platforms. But luckily, the social media managers know this. They're aware of it. Clubhouse is aware of it. Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Geek. All of them are aware of it. And they're aware of the toxic pick-me Patrick antics that several people were doing it, including students who came on here with mind games, provoke, and gaslight. And that student's been admonished and told and warned one last time that I'm done being played with. Play on passive-aggressive toxic games and play psychiatrist, psychologist with someone else or get the professional help you need. Because your narcissistic antics and games are not going to work on me. Play with your baby mom. So I made sure I humbled him real good. And I haven't spoken to him since. And that was earlier today. So I wanted to make sure that you understand the full rewards of being a decent, honest person and not a pathological liar, provoker, pick-me Patrick, pick-me Isha. Slow and steady wins the race. And those of you who want to win the race by stepping on other people, you're going to have to see the same YouTubers on your way down. And I can't wait. I can't wait for you guys to see the same YouTubers on your way out. Then on top of that, understand that a sustained period of conscious effort and self-discipline is why I won this battle. Because I'm not here to battle you guys, but since you guys wanted a war, you sparked a war, and you thought it was going to work out well, I wanted to make sure that you all understood that you don't play with someone autistic high functioning, and you wanted that war, then this is what it was. Let's get ready to rumble! And I want to make sure I pulled up on these streets and let you know who I was. And I wanted to shut the front door on all y'all provoking and gaslighting, just like the nasty Carlos L.A. Curtis, who are messing with my front door and will be getting federal lawsuits, civil lawsuits, and trespass warnings, like everybody else who's playing nasty games, including Gina, who's messing with my front door, the other Gina. Does anybody have some question about these cackling hens? So, I've outlined how Tasha Trench and Akibi can lose her court case because her YouTube has damned her. And all the audios that she refused to take down when she was asked to take them down. Just like I'm asking Sweet Pea Diaries to take off my soundbite, or I will content strike you. And if you ever use the word faggot again, ma'am, I'll strike you my damn self. Because I've got lesbian and gay cousins. And I'll be damned if you use the word faggot and then make an apology and make an excuse for it. YouTube is a great platform that envelopes LGBTQIQ, QIA communities. And a lot of LGBTQIA, QIQ community members, including family members who are near and dear to my heart, have a right to be on YouTube. And they have a right to not feel fearful or be provoked and gaslit. Just like Stormisha and Vaughn, who embarrassed Queen Tulsa, who's trans. How embarrassing is it that you make somebody feel bad for being trans on the internet and you didn't know? All you had to say is, oh, I see your OnlyFans. That's great. Oh, you're trans? How nice. You look nice as a woman. I didn't know. I'll shout out your OnlyFans to those who like trans. Do you see how simple that was, Stormisha? Storm Monroe? You have to see how simple that was. And this is a teachable moment for those of you who are homophobic, but you're not living in your own truth, Bradley Elbert Childs. Because your mom thought you were gay. I did too. I don't have any problem. Just come out already. Everybody else on YouTube thinks you're gay. But there's nothing wrong with that because I'm going to press the issue. Because one thing I don't do is embarrass people about their sexual preference or their connotation. I have high school people. I have people I went to college with who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, homosexual. How dare you and your ignorant friend Vaughn, who ran his mouth about Jeffree Star. Let me make sure Vaughn understands you're gay for pay, but you ran your mouth to Jason Lee and you sat there and did the interview. I watched it. Hopefully they'll mop the floor with you with a cease and desist and put a gag order on you. Because Jeffree Star said you stole his Louis Vuitton from his house. So hopefully Jeffree Star will sue the brakes off of you. Anybody has any question about Stormisha and his homeboy Vaughn, who embarrassed Queen Tulsa about being trans? I don't mind Queen Tulsa being on YouTube. I think she's a great addition. Conscious TV had her on there and I liked her. Conscious TV reminds me of Mr. Ray. He's got a great platform. I'm trying to get into AT2 and figure him out. Although I've heard things about AT2, and if you ever sit there and play passive-aggressive games with me, AT2, they were also talking about you being a pedophile. It's been not proven. But the girl that was blackmailing you and had the audio, I think you need to talk to her. Yvette, or whoever you were dating at the time. So by the time it's all said and done, each one of you YouTubers who were provoking me, like Mel Lipstick Diva, you had AT2 playing these games. I told y'all not to terrorize me, and I told you how the game's going to be played. So it looks like each one of you better straighten up, fly right, that I gave a pass to, like AT2, Armand Wiggins, Storm Monroe, Wiley. Because Wiley, they're talking about you around here drugging people. So I think you better straighten up, fly right. Has been yet to be proven, but there's over 250 complaints about you, Wiley. But you were up on there on my social media, and you're talking about great content, sis. I'm not your sis, and I don't know you. Just like you did the other person, and I just watched the audio about that. The guy that looks like A1 Bentley, but it's not him. Who said you sat there and catfished him and lured him to your house? Under the guise of your cousin. So why don't you talk about that instead of talking about my content that y'all are stealing? So does anybody else have any questions? So I wanted to make sure you guys understood Investigations 101 and how to do it if you're in HR. So I just showed you guys how to do it, and I graduated school. And those of you who cost me my honors degree and stuff like that at PSC, you're going to be sued for that because the lawyer that I consulted in Miami said I have a right to sue you because y'all wore me out. I kept these toxic, provoking, gaslighting games and affected my vital signs, and I didn't want to retake a test. That's why I didn't get my honors, summa cum laude. So by the time it's all said and done, I'll be suing for economic damages, academic damages, and then habitual provoking gaslight damages that y'all did on multiple platforms and cost me business, finance, and money. So big better have my money. Anybody got any questions? I'm not asking, I'm telling you. So DJ Drama needs to be fired from Jason Lee and get somebody else on there. Blue Toulousema or anybody else who want to play these toxic games, you can get fired too. Because the industry's seen everything that y'all did. And they're aware of it. My aunts and uncles who are industry and my cousins who are industry saw it. And they're sick of all y'all. And I am too. Me too. Anybody got any questions? So Toxic Diamond, don't you ever mention Marion ever again. And that's your final warning. That would be my cousin Ray J's people too. Anybody got any questions? And I don't hate Ray J. I don't like his wife, Princess, Floyd Mayweather's jump off. Onika Tanya Mirage Petty, who's the godmother to Yaya. Marmaduke. So Erica Mina, are you going to talk about how my bed is that Jason Ryan Grassley broke and strangled me? Said he'd kill me. Kenneth Gaines Grassley, DEA Grassley, Angelique Gaines, Brian Birdman, Baby Williams, jump off from Chicago. Does anybody have any questions? Treasure Lane, you got anything else to call anybody bitch? On YouTube. That was Glenn Carter. He's in Philly. Does anybody have any questions about all these people who were sitting up here playing these games on my Twitter as well? terrorizing me, provoking me, gaslighting me, but I don't forget a voice. I got photographic memory. So in the 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 46 seconds, it looks like I'm on the floor with each one of you. Don't ever play with me on YouTube ever again. Let that be your final warning and the reason. And also, Tosh Transferring reading Kiwi case is a slam dunk case for best Alice Salmanzar. Karma's a bitch, isn't it? Make sure that bitch is beautiful. Did Dwayne Michael Carter, that was on my Facebook, say that? Isn't there a Tupac song, Wonder Why They Call You Bitch? Does anybody have any questions? I told you I had Afro-Latina background and heritage. Celia Cruz is the grandmother of Marion Suge Knight. Willie Marion Suge Knight, the same one that's on the paperwork, you dumb bitch. And my sister's nickname is Suge. Mine's Ann. Anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, WhatsApp and Keep, Snapchat, Vigo, Station Head? Because I'm not the problem. The industry never had a problem with me. They said they were going to pull the snakes amongst the ranks out. And I told them I would do it for free. Because I don't like y'all. So it looks like I did my job. Y'all take care. Me too.